needs training for explosions, I know, right? Is it normal that the user interface is so tiny? Like, I literally can't see anything. Can I open the options? Pause menu. Settings. Difficulty options. Allow reverting flights. Allow quick loading. Missing crew respawn. Auto hire crew member before flight. Indestructible facility. I don't know which one of these I should. I should check. I really have no idea. The volume seems fine to me. Do let me know if it's not.
Monkey.
Fala, hello. Oliver says, leave career mode until you know things. The science-driven sandbox is easier to learn in. You were talking to a fella about Commander. And then Twitch scrolled, and now I will never know. I will never know. It might just be you waiting on Naples because you hated living there. Some people go there and love it. I feel like maybe people go there and love it. Like it probably depends on the type of person you are, on the things that you enjoy. How are you surviving the heat? Air conditioning. I have air conditioning in this room. I don't have air conditioning in the bedroom, which has made my nights very problematic. But I do have air conditioning here. Do you want to spend all your dollars on an Ishtola Commander deck? The fact that I know that name makes me believe that it's pretty popular. I went past the UI scale. Third most popular commander ever. Yeah, that explains why even I heard the name. No, currently there are no sounds. I am in the menu. Non, thank you for the resub. Thank you for the tier 3. Thank you for the 31 months alone. You always run it, let the cold air float into the bedroom with a fan. There is an entire corridor. I don't really think it would be enough. Oh, it's a cat girl from Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, I absolutely didn't remember her name. Where is the UI? This is audio. Anti-aliasing, texture, pixel count. Like, I swear I can hardly see, it's so tiny. Can you believe it's been nearly 3 years? I am very humbled by all of this support. How well do you know the Hoochman transfer? Hoochman sounds extremely similar to Coochie. That's what I know. Where is user... Chat, tell me if we see user interface. It's so tiny that I can hardly... UI scale. Restarting Kerbal Space Program is required to apply the effect. Oh, come on. Much better. Now I can see. But it wants me to restart. And then I guess I will restart. Let's restart. I am assuming that is like the first thing that players do. It was unreadable. That was UI sound. Yeah, the sound seems fine. But do let me know if it's not loud enough, if it's too loud, or whatever. There's a lot of cool history that it's worth seeing. You just don't like chaotic places. That is why you enjoy living in Japan. Yeah, that's what I was saying when I said that Naples can be extremely enjoyable or awful depending on the type of people you are. Because people in Naples, of course, you know, like right now I am generalizing. Some people are not that way, but on average they tend to be very, you know, loud and warm, and they want to make friends, and you know, at any time of the day there is something going on. It's very chaotic. you hate your did it? I love it. Yeah, it's one of my favorites as well. Okay, I told the game don't show again, and so of course it did show it again. Back to training, getting started in basic constructions. Welcome to today's lecture on vessel construction. I am Werner von Kerman. Whether you want to put a satellite into orbit, make a transcontinental flight, or step onto the very surface of the moon, you are going to need to build yourself a ship. It should be pretty easy, even if you're not a famous rocket scientist like myself. Okay, Senku? In this tutorial, I will first show you around the Kerbal Space Center, then take you to the vehicle assembly building, where you will learn how to construct a simple ship. See, he says it's easy, why would he lie to me? I don't really think he would ever lie. Japanese people don't like being inconvenient to others. I am assuming that if you go to a bar, when people go and get drunk, then it might be possible that even in Japan they could be annoying. We'll cover adding and removing parts, what the parts do, how to change the performance settings of the part which have that option, and how to control staging. At the end of the tutorial, you will have a craft fit for a quick hop from the launchpad. At each step, I will lock out all controls other than the ones you need for that step. So basically, he is babysitting me. People are annoying everywhere, and drunk people are particularly annoying. Blah blah blah. If you still manage to mess up, it took even me some time to become as skilled as I am now, also very humble, he's very humble. You can press the back button to go back and fix things. It won't light up unless you do mess up. We are now at the Kerbal Space Center. I'll give a quick rundown on how to get around. The KSC, not to confuse with the KFC, that's about chicken, for short, is home to the pinnacle of Kerbal endeavor and achievement for space exploration. Using the facilities you can see here, you will be able to manage your space program, create rockets and planes, track your Kerbal explorers as they roam the solar system, find exciting new uses for explosive substances, that's what I am interested in, and in case of emergency, hire more Kerbals, which thankfully I told the game to keep spawning endlessly. You're the Japanese fans watching the FIFA games, been cleaning up the area before they leave, because it's normal for them, and that should be normal for everyone, but it's not. To find out about each of the facility, you can hover your mouse over them, or the facility buttons, they show up when the cursor is outside this window. If you need to repair a structure or upgrade them in career, you can do this by right-clicking them. Take some time to hover the mouse over the building and see what they each are, and when you are ready, enter the vehicle assembly building. VAB. Va bene. VAB, V-A-B. Va bene, in Italian, it means that's okay, that's okay. Werner von Kerman, interesting name. He's German. Astronaut complex, flagpole, launchpad, runway, spaceplane hangar, tracking station, vehicle assembly building, that's where we have to go. Pum 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 pum. Very good. What you see in the middle of the screen is the construction area. This is where parts are placed and your craft is constructed. On the left side of the screen is the parts toolbox. It will show all the parts you have available in each of the different categories. Once there are any to pick, that's it. Dr. von Kerman kept aiming for the Kerb moon, but most of the time ended up hitting Kerb London. Which is terrible, like, imagine the cuisine. Do you think he knows Nova? I mean, he's German, so probably yes. If you want your craft to be controllable, you need a command module, and it's best to make it the first part you place. This part will either contain some plucky Kerbal crew or an automated pilot mechanism. As we're just starting, there is only one choice. Go ahead and pick that command module from the Pods tab. There. Okay, command pod. And then I click it. After at least one part is placed, you can look around with the following controls. Orbit the camera with arrow keys or mouse drag. This way. Move the camera up and down. Okay. No, this is terrible. When I move up and down, it also moves the other monitor up and down. And on the other monitor, there's you, chat. Oh, Scata, hello. You had Scotland for FIFA. They were the same way, very respectful and cleaned after themselves. They also put traffic cones on all of your stages, and you loved it. Fun story time with Penny. When I was younger, when me and my friends, we were all younger and arguably very stupid, we had a recurring meme in this group of friends where every time we found a traffic cone that was abandoned, we would fetch it and always bring it in front of the entrance of the house of another friend. And it became a very recurring thing for years. Zoom the camera with Shift plus mouse and scroll wheel. Okay. Looks like I have done everything. If you would like your pilot to be able to make more than one flight, he or she will have to return safely to the ground or water on Kerbin. Parachutes are a simple way to make sure that happens. They can be found on the Utility tab. Change tab by clicking their icon on the left of the part list window. When you're choosing part, you can view the detail of available parts by hovering over them in the toolbox. When the info is visible, most parts have an additional information window which can be opened with a right click. Note that the parachute states the effective diameter? I don't know what is the accent. That friend is now in the traffic cone selling business. He actually kept them all. They are all in the garage. Like, in any moment, we can see a tower of traffic cones. Diameter. In each state, and what's the maximum safe speed for deployment is. Go ahead and select the MK. No, it's diameter. I didn't remember which one I said first. Go ahead and select the MK16 parachute by left-clicking on it. Then move it to the top of the command pod, so that the green sphere at the bottom of the parachute lines up with the green sphere at the top of the pod. Okay, fuel tank, no. Engines, command and control, structural coupling, payload, aerodynamics, ground, thermal, electrical, communication, science, cargo, utility, parachute. So it's telling me that the diameter is 0.8, fully deployed 20.7, max safe deployed speed 264 meters per second. I feel like all of this information, they are gonna come handy later, not right now. Like right now there's nothing I can do other than placing this. But then when I will be in the stage where I have to set velocity, then I will have to remember about this max safe deploy speed at home. But right now I don't think there's anything that I can do with the information. Some parts like our parachute have configurable option. To see these, we need to right click on the parachute we just attached to the pod. Do that now and you will see the available parameters. I never know where is the accent. Scotland also drank all of the beer at the Samuel Adam tap room, and they had to get another shipment in. Oh yeah, Crenty is also from Boston, and he was telling us that Scottish people drank the city dry. That was great, parameter. Blah blah. On the parachute you will see that we can adjust the altitude and the atmospheric pressure at which to open. That setting can be quite useful on distant worlds. For now, let's check that the opening height of the chute is at least 1000 meters. because safety is a Kerbal way after all. For the minimum pressure slider, move it a bit to the right to 0.2. This is the part where you would have a pen and paper to take notes. The thing is that I don't like all of the things that this guy is telling me right now. All of, you know, the specifics, like 0.2, 1000 meters and whatnot, they are only useful in this specific scenario. And then as soon as we have to do the same thing, but in a slightly different scenario, it wouldn't really be the same numbers, so I don't think it's worth writing them down. A small step for a human-sized person, a giant leap for a hamster. That is what you're gonna say when you reach the Kerb moon. I mean, a hamster is very tiny. The pressure has to be... Where the hell is 0.2? Oh, 0.2, not 0.02. And altitude 1000, okay. I don't know what I'm clicking. Ah, this is if I want to write them down, which is honestly for the best. Okay. Next. Next up, we're going to need something to make us go. Click on the Engines tab to the left to show the available engines and solid rocket motors. Grab one and connect to the bottom of the pod. You may need to zoom and move the camera to be able to do so. Okay. Engine. Then I have all of this stuff that I don't know how to close down. Maybe I can't close it down. Maybe it will need to stay open. We have this Tampere solid fuel booster. Doesn't look like we really have much of a choice. Well, I think we are doing the right thing because it's becoming a bit phallic. And if there is one thing I know about space exploration, is that when you want to explore space, you need to do so in a mean of transportation that is phallic. What does it say when they reach the moon? Where are the grains and nuts? They love sunflower seeds. Whoops, I forgot you're just starting out. You are not a famous rocket scientist. And to make that craft survivable as it stands, now you will have to be better at rocket science than me. Impossible. The problem with that craft is that this solid rocket is too powerful for the payload. A single small pod and shoot. It will either burn up on ascent from going too fast, or burn up coming back down. Even if you survive it, the craft mass will cause it to fall too fast for the parachute to operate properly, and it will hit the surface before we could stop you. Okay, I promise to teach you how to change that to make it work in a later tutorial. But for now, let's go. What do you mean for now? Let's continue. So we're just gonna kill someone? Tammy, hello. Raiders, hello. The tutorial is telling me that I will have to kill someone. He was like, hey, if you do this in this way, people are going to die. But that is a problem for a later tutorial. Now, let's continue this way. So, yes, I guess you just joined on a potential killing. Christine, hello. Tammy, hello. Thank you for the resub. Thank you for the 31 months. Asiatla, hello, hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. We are playing Kerbal Space Program for the very first time, and I have zero knowledge of physics other than, you know, like the very basic elementary school kind of stuff. Nervous Bird, hello. Dewashi, hello, hello. Are we sending Jebediah Kerman to his date? I don't know who we are gonna send yet. But Werner just told me that even though this is absolutely wrong, he's going to explain how to make it not wrong in another tutorial. And so I guess for now we just have to fail. All Kerbal Space pilots are willing volunteers with full waivers signed. At least this way I get to tell you about removing parts. Pick up the back Tampere and either drop it back over parts or press delete. Okay, we are deleting. Dax, leave it alone. What was Tammy doing today, chat? I didn't catch the shutout. Instead, let's add the solid motor that is a better match for a ship of this size. At the start of your career, you will have what I consider rubbish parts. Literally, the motor here looks like and may well be a converted trash can. That said, it does have enough oomph to get this little craft moving skyward, and that's all that we care about. A little bit of the Dead by Daylight event and Overwatch before that. I wanted to start playing Overwatch when they introduced a hamster as a character, and then people told me the hamster is actually the hardest character to play, and so I gave up. I just love the idea of a hamster that moves around in a rotating ball. The previous one was a bit phallic. This one looks like a butt plug. This is a very suggestive game. You wouldn't trust this man to help you build a spaceship. He's got nothing going on between those eyes. That's literally when I launched the game and we saw the menu, I literally said, these guys look like not a single thought ever crossed their brain. Like, so I guess I agree. For now, let's pick up blah blah blah, okay? We have done it. Nice one, you have built the simplest survival craft possible. We could go launch this right now, but it might be safer to explain one other thing first. In the bottom right, you will see the staging stack. It's the box with the number 0 and icons for the parachute and engine in it. The stack shows us which parts will be activated as we stage our rocket. What this shows is that when we activate the next stage, both the engine and the parachute will be triggered. While it could be considered funny to open the chute and fire the motor at the same time, it's not going to give you much of a flight. No, I think it wouldn't. That is kind of how rockets look until you get fancy and attach multiple side dicks to your main dick. So it's normal that they are a little suggestive. Deimos, hello. Godspeed to Jebediah. I was telling everybody that without knowing anything about Kerbal Space Program, while playing No Man's Sky, randomly, just because I felt so, I found a planet and I started calling all of the things on the planet Jebediah, Ezekiel, I don't remember now, but like Elijah, like all of those type of names. And I didn't even know that those were the names in Kerbal Space Program. To fix this, we need to separate the engine and chute into two stages. If you mouse over the 0 stage, you will see plus and minus. Click on the plus button to add a new stage. If you add too many, click the minus on the extra one to remove them. Okay. So we need a plus, and I am assuming that we need to split them. AHR, hello! I did split them. Excellent! It's important to note that the stages activate from the highest number and then count down. So our first stage will be stage 1, the engine. Okay, I did the right thing. And our second one will be stage 0, the chute. I already did the right thing. Also, now that I know a little bit more about the layout, I might want to move my camera. I think if I put myself here, I shouldn't be covering anything important, at least for now. I am afraid this is one of those games that have a lot of user interface, and that eventually I am always going to be covering something. There are no good places for a camera. At least for now, this place is better than it was, because I can move the window of Werner. That's it. We now have a safe, well, relatively safe craft that's ready to go. Let's make sure that if we need this design again, we don't have to build it all from scratch. At the top of the screen, you will see the name for our craft. Untitled Spacecraft doesn't seem too majestic. Why don't you change that to be something more of your style? And you can add a description if you like to. When you use the load screen later, these names and descriptions help grab the right vessel. Okay, so this is going to be I am not going to call it butt plug, even though it looks like one. Hamster sides spacecraft. Plug butt. Enter a ship description. Tiny but mighty, like Chad's mom's. Next. Excellent work! Feel free to play around with the parts and techniques I've showed you. And when you're ready to continue, press the red button in the upper right to exit. Back at the training menu, try the Flight Basics tutorial to learn how to fly this little craft. And then the intermittent construction tutorial can teach you more about the editor. Any vessel you create here will be lost when you exit. We are gonna lose hamster side spacecraft. It's okay. I'm not. What if I save? Maybe if I save, we won't. More training. Basic flight. One of many. But I'm going to miss it. Welcome. Okay, this time, chat. Carlo was right. There is no place for my camera to be. Like everywhere I put myself, I will be covering something. Welcome to the Kerbal Space Center launch facility. I am Gene Kerman. Are they all called Kerman? Are they all inbred? And I will teach you the basic of piloting a spacecraft. I trust you already checked the basic construction tutorial. If not, I recommend you to do so before going through this one. Today we will do a run-through of the important control for your spacecraft. Our little hopper from your basic construction lesson with Werner may not have all of them, but we'll do a full run-through once and see how it flies. Penny Kerman. Okay, I am gonna give you another fun fact about me and my group of friends. When we see each other, instead of saying hello, we actually say, you know, something like, or like, noises, which is literally the same noises these guys do. So maybe I am one of them. Am I accusing Chad Kerman of being inbred? Yes. Yes, I am. Flying a spacecraft is all about being in control of a generally very chaotic situation. I feel like as an Italian I should be experienced with that. Yeah, it's basically Minecraft villager noises. As a pilot, your main flight control will affect the pitch, yo? I don't even know what a yo is, and roll of the ship. Let's look at those first. All the other controls will be locked until they are needed, or this tutorial is closed. Okay. Pitch, yo? Yo! You know those Japanese, it happens in Japanese games, Japanese ads, probably Japanese TV shows. There is that sound bite that goes, yo! Oh, side-to-side movement, thank you. Pitch, yaw, and roll are the three directions you can rotate your craft. So, roll, it's like a hamster on a wheel. Yes? Hamster on a wheel. Yaw is more like carousel. Oh, it's yeah. Yeah. Yes, let's roll. So it's roll hamster. Yeah. Carousel. And pitch is when you kick a can and it starts rolling around. Roll is a hamster on a wheel. No, sorry. Yeah, roll is a hamster on a wheel. Yav is hamster on a wheel but sideways. Pitch is hamster on a wheel but turned 90 degrees. No, I think in my head, I think it's making sense. You control your ship rotation using this control. S and W is pitch up and down. A and D is yav left and right. Q and E are roll left and right. By controlling pitch, yaw, and roll together, you can keep the ship in a controlled flight. Try it now and notice the indicator on the lower side move as you provide control input. Okay. Okay, I see it. Throttle plus pitch, yaw, and roll are the main controls you will need to master for a successfully crash-free flight. When you pitch, you look up or down. Yaw is when you look side to side. Roll is when you fall over. Yeah. Like, roll is like a tumble. We'll skip over the throttle control for now as this vessel has no need for it. Don't worry, I'll explain it in another time, when it's of use. Remember that all these controls have a limited amount of effectiveness, so bigger, heavier ships will probably respond much more sluggishly to the controls than a tiny small one. It's also good to keep in mind that as stages are separated from the ship, it will become lighter, and this will usually mean easier to control. Let's look at the rest of the flight control. So Carlo tells me that I had to pronounce it yo. But is this one of those words that it's different between American English and British English? Like, you guys have to let me know, because otherwise I am just gonna give a nickname to the word and call it in a completely different way. It'll be your for you. In flight, all the planning you put into staging sequence of your ship comes into play. From launch to the final deployment of the descent parachute, you can control the activation of several of the ship's parts by activating stages, okay? Google says US is yo, as in so. So it's like yo, like it's like a rapper, yo. Trevor, hi! Notice the stage indicator in the lower left corner, it shows the current active stage. Since we haven't launched yet, it's showing the first stage is active. I have your staging control locked for now, so the stage indicator is glowing purple. Ah, okay, I saw it. One more thing on staging, if the staging setup is causing strife, or you change your mind about something, you can edit the stage sequence on the fly. No need to go back to the assembly facility. Before we continue, since we have an ad break, I am gonna go pee. Give me just 1 minute. We're up all night to get that key. We're up all night to get that key. And she's dead. Yeah. Yeah. Chat. Totally. Like, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah?
Alright. Follow me. Now remember, you can press Z and it'll give you the waypoint, okay?
All three of us hit a telephone pole!
I think I am
just missed. Like, all three of us hit the same exact pole.
Oh.
If we tried to do it on purpose, it was never going to happen. I'm literally crying.
I'm gonna...
Yes, pay me. Pay me. Money. Money. Solid gold. Money. Money.
Please
money.
take this apron as a token of our friendship. It's not much.
I don't want an
perhaps it will
apron, I
help
want
you in the
money.
future.
But I appreciate it nonetheless. Video games, everybody! The best form of media. I can't even finish them. Chat, I can't finish. Nothing else. Have you seen that? That was a person. Piggy! Hi! If I have to go and be like every single time I am fighting, that's okay. Doesn't really matter. Ameno, ameno do re me, ameno, ameno, ameno do re. But did you know that Todd Howard lives with me? I mean, of course I am not lying. You can literally see him. He has a sort. And I am back, my little Todd Howard. Ah. You just had a beer that tastes like raw hot dog. That doesn't really sound like something that I would like to drink. You're playing a game where the question, are you hamster, is already answered right out the bat. We are hamsters. We are totally hamsters. Also, guys, sorry if I sound like I have like short breath. Yesterday we raided Trey. He put an idea in my mind. Basically, every 45 minutes, he has a timer that alerts him, and every 45 minutes he does 10 squats. And he did some calculation where basically 10 squats every 45 minutes for a stream that is 7 hours long. It basically equates to those famous 10,000 steps that you are supposed to do every day in order to be healthy. Now, I didn't have time to set up the timer, but I think I will, because it's like I don't have time in a stream day to walk 10,000 steps, but I totally have time every 45 minutes to do 10 squats. And who knows, maybe I'm gonna start a trend, like maybe some of you are gonna do the same, who knows. K9, hello. Kainatsu, hello. Did I just call you to that words? I did. Afronaut, hello. Goose, hello. Did I read all of these? I did read all of these. There is a lot to read in this game, and a lot to memorize. Rek, hello. An important part of flying is knowing how your ship is oriented and where it's going. Cotton Eye Joe. That is why a good pilot is always aware of the ship's altitude, where it's pointing, and its velocity vector, where it's going. See, where did you come from? Where did you go? Overpromise and underdeliver. You can do that. I do that literally every single day. These aren't always the same direction, and as your skills improve, you should pick up on these. Pick up on these nuts, chat. Sorry. The big round instrument on the lower center of the screen is called the nav ball. This device sums up most of the critical information needed for proper death-free flight. But what if I want a death-full flight? First rule of NASA, point the end towards the sky is the correct way. It kind of depends. What if you are actually trying to, I don't know, what if you want to make it into Poland? Then maybe you have to point at Poland, not up at the sky. Here you will see the ship's nose in relation to the horizon. When you are not pointing straight up, it's easily visible as a line between blue sky and brown ground, as well as its heading, compass bearing, and speed. You also get several icons that indicate things like your current velocity vector, and we'll have a look at those later. I am already lost. Like, I think this is... We finally reached that moment of the game in the second stage of the tutorial, where I feel like it's already giving me too many information all at once, and my brain is not meant to retain that amount of information all at once. Appears generally more good there for the start of the launch, I can imagine. This is not a game where you point your ship to where you want to go. I don't know. That's what the game is telling me. To get into orbit, you actually want to fly sideways. Going up, just getting out of the atmosphere so we don't fry ourselves from fiction part. But the game is literally telling me that I have to point up. Why is the game telling me this information? In the top center part of the screen, you have your altimeter, vertical speed indicator, and atmosphere gauge. Okay. The altimeter will show the distance to the planet's surface at sea level. This means the actual surface may be much closer, so watch out for the ground when landing. Your vertical speed indicator shows how quickly your altitude is changing. When launching, it's considered best to keep this gauge pointing up. Okay. The atmosphere gauge indicates how deep the ship is in the planet's atmosphere. This helps you know if the ship is high enough for orbiting without losing speed to air resistance, or judge how effective wings and control surfaces will be. I am not particularly liking the way this tutorial is explained, because I think it would be much easier to do stuff and then the tutorial explains, instead of just dumping a huge text, but you don't actually see the things moving, and so it's just a lot of words, a lot of information. Like, I think it would be way better if I could just do stuff. Do you trust the game or do you trust chat? Neither. You go up to start and then turn sideways. You won't get that high this time. Well, so far I am not really getting anywhere. She's giving me a million of words and no action. Yeah, learning by doing, like... We could just mimic launches, and then she could be pointing at all of the things while I see the launch, instead of just looking at a very crowded user interface that at the moment it's just, you know... It's overwhelming this way. The tutorial in Kerbal Space Program 2 is much better, but it's not worth buying the game for that. Yeah, apparently it's the only thing that it's better. Yeah, it's the only improvement. One last thing before we give this rocket the green light. In the staging stack, you can see the indicator for your parachute. This indicator shows when the chute will be activated. See, for example, okay, it took me a moment to even see where this was. The background will also change color to indicate when it's safe to stage the parachute, and the foreground, the parachute bit of the icon itself, will change color depending on the parachute state. Note, however, that by default parachutes will not deploy when unsafe, even if you stage them. The left tree shows safety, safe, risky, unsafe. The chute is unstage, white. The right tree show the state after staging. Arm deployed and cut shredded. When you're familiar with chute icon colors, we can move on, I guess. It's really, it's giving me an info dump that it's bigger than the box of my brain where I can fit information. Enough talk, I unlock the flight control and you will be clear for launch. At any time, you may press escape to pause the game. In the pause menu, you can restart the flight or end this tutorial and return to the main menu. For now, get yourself prepared and hit space when ready to launch. Don't forget our hopper only has a solid rocket motor, so there is no throttle to control. See, I already forgot which one you control with what. Because it gave me so many information all at the same time that I don't remember anymore. Using this was the team's first game, tutorials, especially for games with a lot of learning, are one of the hardest things to design. If I was to make a game, I would make tutorials very visual. Like, instead of a lot of written information, I would show what is going on, because I think it's easier to understand. It was developed by an insurance company. One guy convincing them it was a good idea. Okay, this is how I flip them around. I'm assuming that I really just have to keep them. I think I waited too long for the second stage. Wasn't the second stage... No? I wasn't looking at what Jean was saying. Watch me doing a circle. Am I supposed to still control it? If you zoom out a bit, you can see your parachute as stage. Oh, okay. Because I clicked space a while back. So now it doesn't really matter anymore. Failure is expected. Failing is learning. But I don't want the poor Valentina to die. She doesn't deserve it. There would be so much vomit. It's very hard to control. I'm really struggling with controlling it. Is it normal the parachute is not actually opening? Oh, it's opening now. They signed the waiver, but I would still feel responsible. The faces of the Kerbals crack you up. It looks like they never experienced a single toast in their life. I guess we are going slow because of the parachute. It really plays only when speed is safe enough, and it does everything automatic. The only thing I have to do is telling the game, okay, now we swap to parachute. We're almost there. No boom for the first launch. I feel like it was nearly impossible to boom it. Wasn't it nearly impossible to explode it? Ta-da! Aha! Well done, you survived your first quick flight. When you are landed or splashed on Kerbin and not in training, you can point the mouse just above the altimeter and click the recover button on the panel that slides down. Okay. You've also unlocked the crew hatch, so if you feel like going out for a walk or swim, you can click the EVA that will pop up when you mouse over the portrait of the Kerbal you want to take for a walk. You can do it just for fun or to collect surface sample. This concludes today's lesson. So can I do this? I can do this. Hello? Oh my god, look at her! She can't go in many places. Only if you steered it into the ground right off the pad. So as long as you can read, you really can't explode the first flight. She can jump! And she can run? No one is getting me back today. Big head for a little person. They are space hamsters. That's what they are. I guess we need to end this scenario. We'll go boom a lot. I can't wait. Intermediate construction. Hello again, glad you could come back. To get started, go ahead and enter VAB, and I'll give you the overview of what we're building today, okay? Here we are again, now to business. If you remember, in your last construction tutorial we covered how to build a simple hot pair and some of the basics of the construction area. In this tutorial we'll expand your knowledge of some of the more useful features in a VAB, and we'll build a more complex craft that will be able to get us out of the atmosphere. So basically this time around we are gonna be like the Jeff Bezos sending millionaires into space. But just barely into space. To build our new design, let's start with the craft we built in the basic construction, okay? So we just open, and this guy, okay, I didn't call it hopper by the way. Then remove the motor, okay. If you mess up, you can recreate the craft from the part list by placing a pod first and a parachute. We don't need to. Bezos also made his most recent launch explode, but it wasn't one of those launches with people on top. You know, like the one that sent Captain Kirk into space. Unlike last time, we want to be bringing the whole vessel back, so we can change our parachute stats from what we have used before. Right-click the parachute and verify that its deployment altitude is set to 1000 meters, but also set the minimum pressure slider all the way to the right, 0.75, okay. I don't know why we are doing this, but we are doing this. Max, hello. Sending miners to space is actually a pretty good way to make money in career mode. I mean, it makes sense. They correspond to an altitude of Kerbin of about 2 kilometers and means a much shorter time hanging around during descent. First off, let's change name of our craft. Chat's mom. Tiny but mighty. For this craft, we're going to give the ship some additional purpose by attaching a science experiment. We can run these experiments during our travels and get valuable science data for Kerbal kind. There are a number of science experiments to be performed, but at the moment we only have the mystery goo containment unit available. See? It's perfect for Chat's mom, she would love mystery goo. Switch to the science tab to look at it. This is one of the most basic scientific experiments Kerbal scientists have devised, and one of the first things they want to try and understand better. I mean, they don't even know what color the goo is. That's very important. We need to know more about the goo. So, do we just attach this to the side? Maybe? It won't let me click next. What do you want from me? Is this what you want? Okay, this is what it wanted from me. Using symmetry, when you pick up the part, you will see that it's designed to attach to the sides of other parts, radially. If we attach only one of these, then during flight our craft will be unbalanced. One way to solve this is to add an extra goo container on the opposite side of the rocket, so they balance. Luckily we have symmetry tool to help. These buttons control symmetry, highlighted, and angle snap, and can be found in the lower left of the screen. Okay, I see. Press the symmetry button or press X key to cycle through the available symmetry modes. Set this to 2 and then pick up and place mystery goo containment unit. Remember to place the canister near the nose of the pod. Is the nose of the pod the smaller part? I am assuming it's probably the smaller part. I guess. Beta high? What was the show where the internet celebrity goes to space and then they die one by one because they think it's an hoax? I don't think I am familiar. If we had too many more parts here, the craft we are making would be too heavy to survive, re-entry safely, and too heavy to be slowed by our parachute, leading to sudden impact syndrome. So we will need to add a decoupler below the pod. The decoupler can be found in the coupling tab, and will let us split the craft when we no longer need the lower parts. We won't be able to recover the discarded parts, but at least our craft and our Kerbal will survive re-entry and landing. The couplers can be used in many ways, but for now let's just add one at the bottom of the pod. Okay, coupling. This is the coupler. The stacked decouplers have arrows. The arrows show which side is the side that couples. Make sure your decoupler arrow is pointing up. It is. Next. If you recall, I'd hope that in the previous tutorial we had to adjust the staging stack when we added the engine to our earlier rocket. When you add the decoupler, the extra stage is automatically added to the stack, so that any new part below the decoupler won't be staged at the same time as those above. You can of course still move this around, but hopefully this will save you some time as you go. If you ever want to return to this default staging setup, click reset. I'm fine. This time we're going to use the liquid propellant rocket engine. Unlike solid rocket motor, these engines don't carry their own propellant with them, so we need to add some fuel tanks. Go to the fuel tanks tab. We are still using these early parts, so there are only FLT 100s available. No, it's not the engine. It's not coupling. Where the hell are you? I can't find it. Is it the fuel tank? We're going to need 5 of these tanks to get us to space. Before you grab 5 tanks from the part toolbox, let me give you another tip. Because efficiency is my middle name. It goes right after Von. So it's Werner von Efficiency Kerman. But in that case it would be his surname. It wouldn't be his middle name. Once you place the first tank on the rocket, you can duplicate by holding left alt. I am never going to remember all of these buttons. How am I supposed to remember them? Like, I remember it now. This is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it's no longer tiny. But that's okay. You only made a couple of successful moon runs. I would be more than glad if I can barely lift off from the planet without exploding, let alone making it to the moon. Switch over to the engines tab. The swivel engine you see is obviously different from the flame we used before. This is a liquid engine and it needs and burns both liquid fuel and oxidizer. Funnily enough, that's what we just added to the rocket. Wait, but don't we need fuel tanks? No, this was the fuel tank. Engine. Down there. It's really not tiny and mighty anymore. You would say that becomes muscle memory, but you have done a couple of 100 hours before that started really kicking in. Yeah, I can imagine myself opening the menu to see the controls. Keep an eye on the staging stack to see how it changes. So now it's engine first. Engine starts. Then we have the decoupling. And then we have the parachute. And this is appropriate. This is fine. We're almost there, and you are doing fine. Maybe not as speedily as someone of my caliber. You know who else is not of your caliber? Your mom. The last thing we are going to need is to give this rocket a little better stability, so it keeps going the way we want it to go. We will achieve this by adding some fins near the bottom of the rocket. Fins can be found in Aerodynamics tab. And we need 4 of them. I don't really think that this is the appropriate place where to put them. I think this is more like it. Drop a basic on the last rocket tank. Okay, so that was the right place where to put them. We have now got a rocket that will let us reach for the stars. Admittedly, I did say reach for, as this is a basic rocket which can't achieve orbit. But on the bright side, that means re-entry will also be basic. You have done a great job in building a basic hopper and suborbit capable rocket. Hopefully you have learned a few things about how to build a craft and how to use some of the shortcuts that are in here. Feel free to hang around a bit and try your hand at other things too, or perhaps you could look at the next lesson on suborbital flight, where we will see just how well this rocket performs, or head over to the science tutorial to learn how to advance your career and unlock more parts. If you could show yourself out of the construction facility with the red button on the top right when you are done experimenting, that would be great. Auf Wiedersehen, Guten Tag. It doesn't really look like I have much available to experiment. These were the only things that I could use. So I guess, can I save it? I can't even save it. Leave vehicle assembly building. Do you want to save the current craft? Save this aloud. So it won't let me? More training? Suborbital flight. Look at the amount of training! Cancel. It didn't let me. It didn't let me save. And I didn't have anything else to do there. Today we will take an exciting step, getting your first Kerbal into space. Yes, with a capital S. Hopefully you remember that control we discussed in the basic flight tutorial. Of course I remember everything. Your mission today is to make a short suborbital, less than orbital flight out over the water to the east. It's a nice arching path that ensures a gentle survivable re-entry. Straight up then straight down. It's not too good for survival. I set up the pink target indicator on the nav ball as aim point, but do note that this is not the case for normal missions. The target marker is normally used for other things and doesn't help with ascents. Starting with a noise pointing straight up on the launch pad, or 90 degrees elevation from the eastern horizon. Tilt east 90 degrees elevation. I don't even remember which one of them is tilt. Chat, I absolutely don't know what the game is telling me to do. Tilt east on the nav ball by 150 ms. Tilt east to 70. I have no idea. After burnout, coast up into space and have a look around. Prepare for re-entry. Re-enter and land safely. Once we reach burnout, run out of propellant, we'll have a bit more time to discuss some other things. 90 is to the right. Like, if at least, I am trying to click A and D, if at least it would move. You want to follow the curvature of Kerbin to make it easier to get into orbit. I am not understanding anything the game wants from me. I guess I am going to understand once I am actually doing it. It's like, this is what I keep saying, I feel like the tutorial would be so much better if it was less words and more do. Unlike the hopper in our first mission, this new craft has liquid fuel engines. This means we can use the throttle to set the output power of the ship engines. Throttle is controlled by the following keys. Left shift, okay. Left control, very annoying to press. Throttle max, throttle cut off. You guys never did the tutorial, but without the tutorial, how did you know the controls? It looks like the game has a million of controls. Try this out now. You will see the indicator needles light up. Okay. Okay. You launch straight up, then you tilt the ship to the east and then farther east, and then you basically follow the prograde marker. This is a gravity turn. Furious, thank you for the resub, thank you for the tier 2, and thank you for the 36 months. Thank you for supporting me. Furious, I have no idea what am I doing right now, so thank you for supporting these. You spend at least 10 hours just blowing things up with trial and error. Yeah, but like, without tutorial, I wouldn't even know which buttons to press in order to do trial and error. Worst case, Jeb dies. I think Jeb is going to die, but I mean, look at him. I think it's fine. I think it's okay even if he dies. SAS stands for Stability Augmentation System. No, it stands for Suspicious. Although Kerbal astronauts usually refer to Sickness Avoidance Scheme. Whatever it stands for, what it does is to try stop the ship from spinning around using a computer-controlled auto-torque drive compensation technology to counteract the rotation of the ship. In its simplest mode, it will keep the ship aligned to the orientation it has when you turn SAS, or if you pitch, I still don't know how to pronounce that one, roll, while SAS is on the orientation when you release the controls. SAS can be activated or deactivated momentarily by holding down F, and it can be toggled by pressing T. Then I am toggling it. It sounds like I should keep it toggled. You have a problem following the maneuvers. Once you enable SAS and lift off, you can click the small red button to the left of the nav ball. There is a miniature target indicator. This will cause the SAS to follow the target indicator and fly for you. This autopiloting function will not be available until you are flying. Okay, so I don't have to do it manually. The game can do it for me. This craft has a bit too much engine, so we're going to throttle down for launch. Set your throttle to 2/3. I forgot the button. Okay, I remember the button. So this will be half, right? The upper of the two middle notches of the slider. This is 2/3. Goddamn Superman high. During this lesson, some of the information is quite detailed and could take a while to read. Say then so. As this is a short suborbital hop, and I don't want you to miss anything important, I will place a warning at the top of pages where you might want to pause the game to read. Or I am just not gonna read. Enough talk, I'll unlock the rest of the flight controls and you will be clear to launch. At any time you may press escape to pause the game. I've enabled the target marker on the nav ball, blah 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 blah. Then hit space when you're ready to launch. Remember to start turning at 50 ms. 50? I think I'm just gonna go. Like, it's gonna take us forever to reach 50. Now is the time to start turning, if you say so. What am I doing? I don't know, what am I doing? Can I click on the target? Target? I don't know which one target. I click on the target. David, hi. No, what happened? You flip out. You pointed the reset too far. I literally click on the marker. I was not doing anything anymore. Aerodynamic forces acted to keep pushing you farther away from your velocity. I'm trying to read. Rather than acting to keep you aligned. To fix this, you will have to align with your velocity vector again if you can, and then burn straight up. You probably won't make it high enough, however, So you could just restart the lesson. I don't know what I did wrong. You had no engine control anymore after dropping it. And? The velocity is right above the number. You look at a different number. I was not looking at any number at all. I probably pushed space bar 2 times. Okay. Maybe. I hate when I hate when I make a mistake and I just don't understand anything about it, and so I am likely to do it again because I don't know what I did. I thought that since we were autopiloting, I was not really gonna have to do anything at all. Yes, I don't need all of this tutorial. We press T, then we have to set here, right? And then can we go? We can go. Now I want to press target. Where is the target? Target. I am targeting. By pressing space I activated another stage. And it was way too soon. So it's automatically following the target. You should be able to let us keep the craft steady for a while as we accelerate further. Go ahead and throttle to full power. Okay. Not okay, press the wrong button. And then I had to go to the next stage. When? You have succeeded in getting your ship on a trajectory bound for space. I have now set your target indicator to align with your velocity vector. That will minimize drag by turning the smallest side of the vehicle into the airflow. Whatever you say. Somewhere around here you will see the navball speed indicator auto switch from surface to orbit. I have no idea where to see any of that. Accompanied by the speed number jumping. Go ahead and switch it back to surface mode by clicking on it until it says surface again. But I don't know where that is. Oh, surface! I saw it. I saw it. Normally you wouldn't have the target marker for SAS to lock on. And so you just have to press WASD until it works. You want to stage when the engine stops burning. So now, basically, Penny becomes an astronaut. No, technically I am the engineer. I am not the person on the spaceship. Number indicator, blah 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 blah. Somewhere around here, you will see the navball. Yes. You might have noticed some flickering flames near the end of our burn, which is due to the high speed of your craft in the atmosphere. Normally our ascent would be a little slower, but I'm sure my friend Werner has helped you build a ship that can withstand this heat, and besides this high and this low you will be fine. If you want to have a look at your trajectory, you can switch to the map to have a look at your projected path. Just remember to come back to flight mode again. It's really giving me far too many information. Now that we are crossing our way to Apopsis, that's the highest point on our current projected path, we've got a little time to chat. Once you clear the atmosphere, we'll go over what you can do in space, okay. But do I have to detach? Because we don't have any fuel. No, we still have liquid fuel. Are you gonna tell me what we do in space? It's not really telling me anything. Hello? Oh. Oh, it really wants me to press M. I didn't want to, but if this is what the game wanted from me. We are not in space yet, but it looks like we are in space. Look at how far we are. This game will do better with an arrow, or to point out what different part of the HUD mean. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's too many information written, a lot of like info dump that it's impossible to memorize. While we float up here beyond the atmosphere, I quickly tell you about a couple of things you can do. With an advanced enough astronaut complex in the KSC, we can train our Kerbal to be able to spacewalk, although we won't be doing that on this flight. When we are carrying science devices like your goo containers, we can perform experiments. Feel free to play with the goo canister now by right-clicking them. Of course I wanna play with the goo canisters. Observe Mystery Goo! Mystery Goo observation while in space near Kerbin. The goo seems to have clumped into a sphere. It also appears to have become brittle. Can I transmit data? Transmitting experiment will render this module inoperable. Restoring functionality will require a scientist. Okay, then we don't want to do that. How do I exit this experiment? I don't know. What about the other goo? Now hold steady on your new altitude, let SAS do its job, and get ready to decouple the stage and start re-entry. But when do I have to decouple? I have no idea. So we keep the experiments, but we can't transmit them. No, my bad. I kinda wanted to try and understand how much fuel I still have. But it doesn't look like the game is telling me how much fuel we have. Now it's time to get rid of the booster. Stage to discard. Okay, we did. During re-entry, with your pod oriented this way, aerodynamic forces alone will hold it properly stabilized. I was reading. I was reading. If you click on the engine or tanks, it says more. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. But then the game told me that it was time to decouple. You're now re-entering Kerbin's atmosphere. Make sure to keep all hands and feet inside the pod at all times. We don't want you getting burnt or anything. Don't mind the flames, Werner is a world-famous rocket scientist after all, and he's built his ship to withstand them. Draconine High! Last time we watched the parachute icon to wait for the right time to open the chute. This time we're going to do something a little different. Remember the construction tutorial where you designed this vessel, you set the chute to not semi-deploy until 0.75 atmosphere of pressure. That means the chute won't perform the first of its two deployment steps until then, even if you activate it by staging now. On Kerbin, 0.75 atmosphere means about 2000 meters altitude above the sea level, and the craft should be traveling slowly enough by then the chute will survive deployment. So let's take the bold step of arming the chute now, and let the smart in there pop it at the right altitude, which is what I accidentally did before anyway. While we set the chute to not actually semi-deploy around 2 kilometers, we do need to ensure that the opening height, its second full deployment, is correct. You can even adjust these parameters during flight, so right-click on the parachute now and check the sliders. I don't even know where the parachute is anymore. Don't touch the pressure slider or bad things will happen, and make sure the full deploy altitude is no less than 1000, or you will not have enough time to slow down. Once you're satisfied, just hang on about 2 kilometers and watch the parachute trigger itself. While we're waiting, I want you to look at the bottom of the capsule. Note that you don't have a heat shield. You don't need one because it is such a gentle flight. A heat shield would make things more dangerous because the additional mass would be pushing the limits of this model, okay? And by okay, I mean whatever you say. I don't actually see the parachute. There is a crew hatch. Nose cone for the parachute. I don't see it there. Oh, okay, it is. It's not called parachute. So it's all perfect. I don't need to do anything. Can we go to the target? No, we don't really have a target anymore. Or I mean, I should probably keep the target. Or at least I am assuming that that yellow thing is a target. Check out Jebediah. Jebediah doesn't seem to have any feelings. What are you saying? Oh no, okay, it's saying the usual stuff that I have already seen. It wants me to look at the bottom, but there isn't really much for me to see. Jeb feels only elation and nothing else. Look at him, now he's happy. Now he's looking up and he's happy. The yellow circles are prograde and retrograde, the one we're across. And what does it mean? Yay! Now enjoy a leisurely float down to the surface, which happens to be the ocean, but I think it's fine. They land in the ocean literally all the time in real life. Jebediah is only happy when he's on the verge of dying, which means literally every time that you see him, he is always on the verge of dying. Prograde is the way you are traveling, retro is backwards. Then I still have no idea what does it mean that I am doing retrograde when I aim at the yellow target. I am in reverse gear. So the yellow target is not a target. It's just a random map marker. Splosh! Welcome back, and congratulations on completing and even surviving your first real mission. You managed to launch, control your vessel into space, orient yourself correctly and land safely. That's quite an achievement. If you want to practice this again, choose Revert to launch from the pause menu. Otherwise, end the scenario, okay? Then I guess we are going to end this scenario. You did it! It's your craft velocity. The yellow target is my craft velocity. This yellow target with triangle angle means you are keeping the craft butt on the leading edge. Is still a target, some signs specifically want to be pointing the opposite way to the way you are going. Okay. If you're pointing in retrograde, things have gone horribly wrong. So I do have to aim at the yellow target. Go for orbit is what we just did, right? Werner will walk you through the Kerbal scientific method. You will learn how experimentation works and why it's cool. I think this is stuff that I can learn by doing. Kurt, hello. These are introduced to flights outside of Kerbin's sphere of influence, and the most basic level flying to the moon. I think this might be useful. I think we want to do this one. If you're landing on the moon, you want to thrust as you approach it, so you slow down. Orbiting 101X, yeah, I don't know if I want to do all of the tutorials, because there are so many of them, and it's making me feel like it's filling my brain with information, and I can't retain all of them. Prepare for the first series of lessons designed to prepare you for flight in and around Kerbin's local system. A bit inspired by the famous work of Jules Kerman, From Kerbin to the Moon. We'll take a leaf out this book and go one better by returning as well. In our first lesson, we will be starting from LKO, low Kerbin orbit, and traveling to the moon, ending in low lunar orbit. I'm going to assume you have completed the flight tutorial preceding this as well as orbiting 101. No. Then you should really do them. Fine. Fine. Welcome to the Odyssey 101 training program. I am Jean Kerman, and I'm going to teach you the basics of orbiting. I assume you have already done the basic flight tutorials and are now ready to learn how to get around in space. If you haven't done them, well, I hope you know what you're doing. I think so. I think I am. Orbiting is really nothing more than free falling. The only thing is that as you fall, you are moving so fast forward that you actually miss the ground, because up here there is no atmosphere to slow you down. At this height, you will continue to free fall endlessly around the planet, without having to use your engines. Miku Hai. We are currently on a low, almost circular orbit around Kerbin. To get a better view of your situation, press M. We are spinning around. Spinning. You can see your ship's position and its current trajectory around the planet. Hold right-click and move your mouse to look around and see your orbit from various angles. Well, it's still a circle. No matter the angle, it's still a circle. Hovering on the icons on the map will display more information about them. Right-click in the node will pin the info. So that's Orbiter 1A. Kerbin Perlapsis. Perlapsis painfully sounds like prolapsis. Kerbin apopsis. Let's take it practical now. I trust you already know your basic spaceware control, kind of. Up here they are very much the same, except that the lack of atmosphere makes the ship behave quite a bit differently. Because there is no drag slowing you down, for every input you apply, you will have to apply an opposite one to come to a stop again. I'm going to remotely nudge your altitude controls a little. Try to get the ship back under control afterwards. If you find yourself totally out of control, hit T to toggle the SAS, and it will automatically cancel any remaining rotation. But is that something that I can do even when we are actually playing? You know, pressing T. Periapsis is the lowest point of your orbit. Apopsis is the highest for Earth, perigee and apogee. So they gave it different names because it's a different planet. T is a toggle, and we do have it even in the actual game. Then why would anyone not use it? So am I supposed to make it stop spinning somehow? Good freaking luck with that. I don't know. So just use the nubball to orient instead of looking at the ship. The nubball is unaffected by the camera rotation. I still don't get. I still don't know what I have to do. Like I am trying to stabilize it, but it looks like no matter what I click, literally nothing changes. I guess I just really needed to toggle this thing. It's working. I think it only really started working when I pressed T. Use arbitrary maneuvering by hand. Sometimes it's useful. Sometimes you might not include that in the vehicle to save weight. Oh, I see. Tyler high. Jeb is elated. They are all elated. They are all very happy that they were going to die. Attitude control is an essential skill for a spacecraft pilot. Master it and you will be well on your way to becoming an expert pilot. You can try this again if you want, or press next if you are ready. No, next. Let's have a look at the nav ball now. You are probably seeing the symbols when you were spinning around. Prograde and retrograde. They point towards and away from your velocity vector respectively. That is, it points to and away from where you are going. Radial in and out vectors, they point towards and away from the currently orbited body. Normal and anti-normal vectors, they are perpendicular to the orbital plane. They point upwards and downwards with respect to the orbital plane respectively. Jebediah Kerman is your hero. He was your hero after this. Yeah, they are just so happy. June 27 doesn't celebrate any space holidays. I am gonna write it down in my notebook of the things I don't care about. Now let's try something a little more involved. Open your map again. Okay. If it's nothing space related, then what kind of holiday it is today? What we want to do now is go through some of the basic maneuvers you will need to know. Let's try raising your apophysis first. The apophysis is the highest point in an orbit, and it's indicated by the node mark AP. The best place to raise your apophysis is at the periapsis, which is the lowest point of your orbit. If you hover the mouse over periapsis node, you will see that we are going to reach it in a few minutes. Once there, we will face prograde and burn. Press period. What do you mean press period? To speed up time a little so we can get there faster. Okay. Time is now passing 5 times faster than normal, so we should be there in a few moments. You can control time with period and comma keys, or click the arrows. Yeah, probably clicking the arrows is easier. It route us back to normal time about a minute before reach periapsis and start lowering the rate even earlier. Outside of the training though, you will have to warp time down to 1 per yourself. You can also click on any given point of your orbit and click the warp here option. Okay. It didn't give me enough time to read the previous one. I just can't. Did Kurt tell me what is the holiday today? I'm trying to scroll chat, but it's one of those times that it's glitchy and it won't let me scroll. I'm checking, don't mind me. Jet demonstrates that you are happier if you don't have higher brain function. I always say that the stupidest you are and the happier it's likely that you are going to be. Space Geek perspective, showing our calendar to be arbitrary and unimportant in that scale. Today is International Sunglasses Day. I am afraid that I might not have any sunglasses at all. Check SAS is engaged, now it is. Press Z to accelerate at full throttle. Notice how the opposite side of your orbit starts to rise as you accelerate. It's becoming an oval instead of a circle. Okay, but then what do I have to do to stop it? How do I stop it? I stop it with X. I feel like the game should have given me the information before. Canadian Multiculturalism Day. Well, that sounds like a Canadian holiday. Same way you started. I don't think so. Djibouti Independence Day sounds good. I will celebrate the independence of Djibouti then. I'm very proud of them. Give me a whole tutorial on throttle control. Yeah, but it didn't tell me that I was supposed to throttle until... Like, it didn't tell me... Why am I even talking to you? Chat, why do I still talk to you? That is because I am a streamer, right? It is kind of my job. Zach, hello. You wanted to figure out how to contribute all of these holidays into my stream. Transfer $1 million into my bank account and I will buy a prop for literally every single holiday. Elana, hi! How is it going? Honestly, I am not a fan of how the tutorial is implemented because it's very, it just dumps all of the information. And I think, like, I am considering just going into Sandbox and learning by doing. Because right now I am just so overwhelmed, and then I have chat making fun of me, being like, actually streamer, the tutorial told you that command 45 minutes ago, 6 tutorial stages ago, and it's, I think a game like this, with this amount of information, it's probably better if instead of having to read all of this stuff, you just jump into it. Like, I think I might want to just not really care about tutorials anymore and go into Sandbox. You don't like tutorials like that, you can't absorb it all at once, exactly. And if you info dump me so hard, what happens is that I will remember the very last information that you gave me, and I will forget all of the others. You would suggest finishing this one. With orbital maneuver, pretty much everything you do will affect the opposite side of your orbit. So to raise the highest point, you thrust forward at the lowest point. Similarly, to raise your periapsis, you thrust prograde at apostasis, that one. We're on our way to the apopsis now, so let's just do that. But why? What is the reason to do this? I am assuming because you keep expanding, and eventually you enter in another orbit. I think that's how. We're on our way to the apopsis node. Notice how your ship loses speed as we rise. That's because we're climbing away from the planet, so we lose speed as we go higher. Just like a ball does when thrown into the air back on Kerbin. The higher you are, the slower your orbit will be. And then you have to pause because there is so much text that if you don't pause constantly, you can't read everything. You think this game is easiest to learn by doing, with one trusted friend in the MR chat who can answer questions. I don't trust anyone. As a streamer, I feel like it's the right thing to do, not to trust anyone. This game would be great to collab with Ultra. She also learned some of this while ago. Yeah, but I think she will yell at me. Which is kinda hot, but I don't know. I think I might cry. I think I might cry. You manipulate your orbit to be in a rendezvous with another orbit. Okay, so that's the reason why we are doing this. Cool freaks, how old do you think I am exactly? You know that I was telling people to do Alt F4 at the computer lab at school, in high school, and they will come to me being like, Penny, do you know how to do this? Like, can you please help me, or I am not going to pass this test? And then I will be like, oh, that's so easy, you just have to Alt F4. Like, you know how many years ago I was doing that? The higher you are, the slower you go. Yes, like a ball. When we reach apopsis, we will burn prograde again to raise the periapsis node and circularize the orbit. See, I already forgot literally everything. Like, the game is giving me too many information, and I don't remember them all. I think I have to go faster now? No? Prograde? I have to pause again to read? No, I still have no idea. Okay, we go prograde, and then I think I have to accelerate. Yes. We do need to accelerate. Keep burning prograde. No, wait, prograde? Yes. Until the orbit is nearly circular. Eccentricity will be 0 when it's perfectly circular, so keep an eye on that. Is it going to tell me anywhere? Is it going to tell me where? Okay, I think, is it here where it says 002? Players Artisan, you've been suggesting Alt F4 to really solve a problem, and not just as a joke. That is because in Star Citizen you are crashing all the time. That's why. You don't know what eccentricity is without care, and I don't know what is care. There is just the stage number, so I don't have a way to know when it's a perfect circle. I just sort of have to look at it. One of the bottom left panels. Maneuver, toggle map, docking mode, display staging. No. When AP is equal to PE. Okay, but can I easily see that? Well, then they are not literally the same. The purple one. No, the purple one is maneuver mode. Ah, okay, you see it from there. So we didn't really do it perfectly. It's not perfect. A perfect circle play there tomorrow. They have been around Europe. I am honestly sorry for them, because it's really hot. Carries Kerbal Engineer mod. Oh, okay. So it's normal that I have no information about it yet. If you right-click the marker, it will make it sticky and not just hover. Ah, okay. So it's not really perfect, but I guess it's close enough. This is how you change the side of your orbit. This maneuver should come in handy in many situations. Next, we look into changing your orbital inclination. Your orbital inclination is the angle between your orbit and Kerbin equator. If you have managed to maintain a reasonable amount of control so far, we should still be in a nearly 0% inclination orbit. That is, even though we have changed the altitude of our orbit, it's still the same inclination as before. Changing inclination is done by thrusting at 90-degree angle to your prograde vector, but without changing your pitch relative to the surface. On our present nearly equatorial orbit, prograde is due east. That means to increase our inclination so that our orbit takes us into higher latitudes, we have to burn towards the normal direction. I don't know a single thing the game just told me. Like, what I do understand is that we want to move. Right now we are circling around the equator, and I think we want to move the orbit up. Burn to the pink symbols of your navel to tilt the orbit. I don't even see pink symbols. You've ever quit the game by now. Too much technical info dump. That's what I'm saying, that maybe if I go in sandbox mode and I just do trial and error and many Kerbals die, it might be easier for me to understand. Because with this info dump, it's just using a lot of technical terms that I am not even familiar with. Do we both buy the same game at the same time? I bought 2 games from this Steam sale for now. Then we will see, maybe I'm gonna buy more. This game is having you learn a 3-year space program class in an hour. I mean, I am assuming that in a space program they probably go a lot more into detail. Do some sandbox until you need the desired concept and then come back to the tutorial. You know, because right now I'm just losing my mind. Normal is the pink-red triangle on the nav ball, which you can't see right now since you are pointed prograde. And when can I see them? Which is the other game that I bought. I bought Breakfast because it was really cheap, like they discounted it a lot. If all that I just said made your head spin, yes it did, then Apple once again comes to your rescue. In this case you will need to use the normal vector to change your orbital inclination. Let's try that now. Turn the ship to the normal vector direction and open the throttle. Huh? Okay, no. Why is it so hard? We can just click there. And then we throttle. Okay. Notice how as you burn north, your orbit starts to tilt up on one side, but the periapsis and apopsis nodes remain mostly the same. That is because we are accelerating on a completely new direction, so this maneuver doesn't add or take away any energy from the orbit, as long as we are careful to continue facing normal during the burn. Keep accelerating towards the normal until your inclination is about 10. Is the inclination the number at the bottom? Is that inclination? 5.5, 5.7, 5.8. No, it looks like I just have to look at it here. This is my compass setting, okay? So the only indication that I have is in the tutorial window. And now we stop. The maneuver nodes show it. Period. I have no idea. I don't know where am I supposed to see the inclination. Maybe in orbit info on the bottom left. It's not. If you mean here, I don't see it. This is how you change your orbital inclination. For this maneuver, it's always better to do it in the slowest part of the orbit, so you don't have to spend as much delta V to turn your orbit around. That also means the inclination changes on larger orbits, such as we are on now, take less fuel than the same inclination change on a lower orbit. Keep in mind that changing inclination doesn't necessarily mean accelerating to the north or south. It means accelerating at right angles to your prograde vector, which on our nearly equatorial orbit also happen to be towards the north. Now let's look into the last essential maneuver you will need to learn, lowering our orbit. The second tab might have more info. There is a second tab. Oh, this second tab. The game wasn't letting me open it before. I am playing in 1080p. Yeah, the user interface was super small. There is a setting in the menu. I did scale the user interface. I literally couldn't read. It was far too small. As you can imagine, lowering your orbit altitude is very much like raising it, only in reverse. Because there is no air up here, we can use our main engines to decelerate as well as accelerate. Because the ship's orientation will not cause problem with airflow and flying backwards is easy as flying forward. Since our orbit is nearly circular, we can just turn retrograde and do our burn at any time. So let's get to it. Turn towards the retrograde vector, which is this one. Okay. Real astronauts use small interfaces. Yeah, real astronauts are also not incredibly short-sighted and astigmatic. I am assuming at least. Keep burning retrograde until the periapsis altitude is around 20,000 meters. Tracking as close as possible this time. If you overshoot and make it too low, turn prograde and accelerate. So this is like, you know, when you are trying to park. I don't know why this is making me want to pee. There is a video that explains, maybe I should have watched it. You're saying that it's like parallel parking? Yeah, exactly, it sounds like that way. Maybe I should go way faster than this. Because if we have to go at 20,000, it will take us forever. D&D, thank you for the Prime. The Prime.
Gaming.
So you know 1 hour cut of the cooking stream? That is not going to happen. This is with 25. Maybe we can just throttle a little bit. We did it. That's it, you are now on your way back. 20,000 meters is low enough to hit the atmosphere, so you are now on a re-entry course to Kerbin. Once we're below 60,000 meters, the atmosphere will start slowing the ship down to the point that it won't have enough velocity to rise back up again. So there are probably going to be occasions in which if you exaggerate, you actually screwed up. You did it on purpose, looking like I was distracted until it was super close. No, I didn't do it on purpose. Like, I was literally staring at the number going down. This is all we need to do for this lesson. You could keep playing and either perform more maneuvers or ride this path down to a landing. Or you could skip to the next lesson. If you do try for a landing, don't forget to decouple the capsule and deploy the parachute. Okay. But we are not gonna do it. Let me see the name of the other tutorials. There's a part of me who feels like we should probably learn how to dock. But let's be real, if I now move to Sandbox, it's not like we are going to have to dock anytime soon. Not docking. Yeah, dock is very far away. We are never gonna dock. Start new. Sandbox. You guys told me that I should do Sandbox before career. I am going to trust you. Start new game. I don't know what am I doing. I can choose the flag. Is there anything silly? Jebediah. We're gonna sport the Jebediah flag. Play Sandbox or Science to reinforce launching and getting into orbit first. Yeah, I feel like probably Sandbox will help. Ravelly, hello. You would recommend Science instead of Career. What is the main difference? Okay, Sandbox, all parts and features are available from the start. You are free to play without any constraint. R&D and mission control are unavailable. Or, in Science mode, you must gather scientific data to research new technologies. Funds and reputation are disabled and contracts are not available. It sounds like Science is more limited than Sandbox. The good thing about Career is it introduces you to different parts slowly. Career can be overwhelming. Only issue with pure Sandbox is you might get overwhelmed with all the parts. Career gives you a bunch of boring repetitive missions. Sandbox gives you all the parts at once and it's a bit too much, while Science doesn't just dump everything. Science mode was where most players learned. You will do Science too. Career is a chore, Sandbox is too much. Okay, let's do Science then. And I will still sport the flag of Jeb. Yeah, everybody were recommending me against Career. I am Gene Kerman, Flight Director and your guide for this quick introduction. This is the Space Center, from here you can manage all the aspects of Space Program. Feel free to have a look around, okay. Right click on the Space Center facility to view more about them. Left click when you're ready to head inside. If you need more information, check out the training section of the main menu. Okay, administration building is closed. We can go into the hangar. There is a lot of science on the surface of planet. I'm Werner Kerman, yes you told me. This is the space plane hangar. Here is where we build spacecraft that later will take off from the runway. On your left you will find components to construct your own space plane. Select a starting part, then attach others to it to build. You can then have a look around. We just got this place cleaned, so try not to mess too much. I love how there is a tutorial, and then there is a tutorial once you start. Research environment, vehicle assembly building, launchpad, tracking station. Okay. So these are the parts that we have available at the moment, and I see what you guys meant, that with just, you know, this amount of parts it shouldn't be overwhelming, and I am probably not going to exaggerate, and I'm not gonna try and do something that it's way above my possibilities. Well, then I guess we have to assemble something. This official flag of the space program, or we could change it. We could change it. Jeb. I am assuming the only thing I can do is the vehicle assembly building. Perform science anywhere, there are different biomes, so I build something and then I make it go around. That's the idea. Command pod, then. We need the parachute. Okay. And I guess 0.75, it sounded like it was what the game suggested me before. Solid fuel booster, this is the one. If I use the solid fuel booster, is the one that doesn't really make me go too much around. Which is probably for the best. And in this case, we wouldn't need the fin. Mystery goo. It really doesn't look like we have that many choices. Build the structure of your dreams with the Maxo Construct Toy Modular Girder segment. So this is if I want to build something that looks like a bird of prey from Star Trek. Could save so much weight without parachute, but we don't want Jeb to die. Well, it's not like I don't have a choice. This is literally the only fuel tank that I have right now. Like, we don't have liquid fuel, so this is what we can do. Let's say that I don't think I need something else. Let's say that I save this one. This is Chat's mom. Tiny but mighty. And we save it. And we can't make the bigger one. Look at the atom. I only have the mystery goo containment. But the mystery goo in the tutorial, the mystery goo containment, we used it on the other one, on the bigger rocket. Can I use this on the small rocket as well? I'm assuming we can. I need for science. Then we need to do this where first we launch and then we parachute. And I guess we can launch and see what happens. This time I will get points from using it. I could do some science right at the launch pad. I guess not anymore. Or can I? Oh yes, I can. Mystery goo observation from launchpad. The goo doesn't seem to be doing much right now. We can't transmit... No, we can transmit this data. No, we can't transmit this data. So we're just keeping this data. We're keeping this data. But then it means that we have to go back, right? How do I go back? Not from here. Resume flight, rare flight, space center, tracking station, space center. No. Click on the capsule and do a crew report. Let's fly first. But I don't have... like, can I still observe the goo? Can I still observe the goo even if I already used it? You can do the second goo. I already used both of the goos. I already used it. I guess I can reset the goo canister. Okay. No, I didn't use one. I used two because I didn't know that I was supposed to keep one, but I can reset. Okay. Now, are the stages? The stages are set. I don't remember at which height I am supposed to go. Let's go anyway. What could possibly go wrong? Think this is gonna be fine? Then we might want to observe the goo right now. The goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. Honestly, understandable. I would feel the same. Jebediah is not really showing any emotion. Do a crew report. I have no idea of how do you do a crew report. Crew report? Crew report while flying over Kerbal shores. The shores look inviting. And he watched the waves roll into the coast. I didn't do the tutorial that told me about that. Yeah, it's not really... Okay, no, now Jeb is kinda excited. Now he seems to be happy. You'd be doing at least Mach 10 and on fire before he smiles. No, he's smiling, he's smiling. He's kinda happy. But you know, it took him some time. We needed to be very high up in space. But it's not space, but you get what I mean. Like, if he doesn't see... If there is a chance he might survive in case of accident, then he's not gonna be happy. Whoops. Question. I did press space, and space is for parachute, a long time ago. And it made a sound. It made a sound, and I assumed that sound was the parachute is ready. You suspect the parachute parameters weren't ideal. I set them the same as the tutorial, but I guess this might have been a different situation from the tutorial. Space is the next stage, not parachute. Yes, but in this case there are two stages. So the first time I press space and it goes up, and the second time that I press space it opens the parachute. So not the parachute arm, but if you are going too fast it won't open. I think I set the parachute with the wrong parameter. If you go too fast, this kind of parachute won't open. I set them to the same parameters that I remembered from the tutorial, but I am assuming that those didn't make any sense. You had the booster tank on, and that might have done the assembly too heavy to slow down. I don't know. We can revert to launch, or we can revert to vehicle assembly. Let's revert to launch. I can still change the parameters, right? I think. Yes. So these were the data from the previous launch. But clearly that was not okay. Let's try the other launch. Like, we have done 2 launches during the tutorial. I didn't remember which one was which. You can't see it. It was all the way to the max. It was all the way to the max. Because I remember it during the tutorial, we have done 2 different things. Number one, it was 0.2. And number 2, it was all the way to the max. So this time we're gonna try 0.2. Pressure all the way. Altitude 1, 2K is good for Kerbin. Well, apparently no. Apparently pressure all the way and altitude 1K was not good enough. Low pressure means it opens higher up, which is safer but slower. Okay, but the alternative is splattering on the floor. That's the alternative. So I think we're gonna try this way. Okay. I don't remember the... I saw it red, and I feel... No, this is bad. The parachute is on the wrong way. Is there anything I can do about the parachute being in the wrong way? The default values when you place the parachute are good in most cases. I can tell you for sure that this is a problem. Gaming, everybody. These will do. I was still rising, that is why it's the wrong way. But now it's the right way. Azukran, hi, by the way, you joined just in the moment of the explosion. You were testing a parachute. Oh, chat. I forgot to check the goo. And at that point it was too late to check the goo. So we have to reset the goo. But not this other goo. This other goo, we just review the data. The goo is not really doing much. Okay. Can I do a crew report right now? You record the crew's assessment of the situation. The situation is not really much. Nothing is going on. Now. Pressure 0.2. Okay. Altitude 1000. Steve, hello. You love this game, but you are terrible at it. I decided to stop doing tutorials and just wing it. And so far I can say that it was a terrible idea. Okay, let's keep going. Then we're gonna observe the goo. The goo jiggles and wobbles. That is great. What about the crew? The shorts look inviting. Okay, good job. Now we have used the parachute. Or at least I think we did. I'm trying. No, don't spin. I beg you, do not spin. Much better. Yeah, Jebediah is vibing. I am not, because I don't know if the parachute did anything. I am assuming it will open eventually. But it didn't open yet. Maybe we will survive. No, I didn't need to press. I didn't need to press space again. It opens automatically when it reaches the appropriate height. I think you can disable that. I think you can actually make it not automatic. Can you please open it now? Please. Okay. It looks like we shouldn't explode. I clicked it because it wasn't opening and that was really scary, and so I clicked it manually. The first time it was going too fast, and by the time I made it down to 1000, and then it refused to open. Oh, I was going too fast. Okay, this time Jebediah survived. Good job, Jebediah. What am I supposed to do now? Yay! Clapping! Good job, Jebediah! What do we do now? I'm clapping. Maneuver, no. No. Action, no. No. If you put the altitude to 2K, it will allow to open earlier, but take longer to land, okay. Up at the top, recover, okay. And so we also recovered the science about the goo. And it gave me 18 science points, okay. Jebediah is ready for the next assignment. Congratulations, Jebediah. So now, with these points, we can unlock more stuff. But since I really need to pee, I am not going to unlock anything at all for a couple of minutes. Be right back. He can't actually say anything, he can't even say hello, but at least with me, like you can see, I can hold. This is more complicated, it should be. I can tickle his nose, everybody. A small step for an e-girl, but a huge step for the Pico kind. Dun, 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 da, da, ba, bum, ba, bum. That was definitely not parryable. This is the same thing as... Oh, hello! Did you just... Yes, he did just. Any badger experts? Any hold. Oh, it's a badger. I always wanted to do this. It was kind of a dream of mine to actually be a badger. That's it. Listen to me. What is an Ouroboros? It's a snake eating its own tail, which represents the infinity. What is this hamster doing? Running on a wheel. What is a wheel? A circle. And thanks to the hamster, it's a circle which is ever moving. So this hamster is actually causing everything. Are you a hamster? I am not, but he is. It now became a completely different game. Sorry. The way to go is here. No! And I am back. And chat, since I kinda feel like you might not take me seriously, instead of always doing that when I am away, hold. I want you guys to do the same. And this was 10. I am still not enough in a good shape to really do it every 45 minutes, but I can do it every time that I gonna be right back. But I am completely sold on the idea of 10 squats every 45 minutes. You already did your 10k step on your morning walkies. How can you do so many steps? I feel like every time that I do just regular walkies, it's like maybe 3000 steps. Nurimancer high. The normal progression rate is kind of brutal. Made the ship bigger. I literally couldn't. Like, I will be able to make it bigger by unlocking stuff. Do we want engineering? Or do we want basic rocketry? How hard can rocket science be anyway? I know, right? This will give me liquid fuel engine, solid fuel booster, and fuel tanks, while engineering would give me... How hard can aerospace engineering be anyway? Decoupler, thermometer, communotron. I don't even know what a communotron is supposed to be. Versatile and lightweight antenna. Oh, that is to transmit the studies. So here is the problem. During the tutorial, when we switched from solid fuel to liquid fuel, we also used the decoupler. So I feel like we need to unlock both of them, because we will need the decoupler. Thankfully, we do have enough points. Next stage will be general rocketry, stability, or survivability. I also feel like we had winglets in the tutorial, and we don't have winglets right now. So I guess we want to... We want a new one. We don't want Chat's mom. Command pod. Parachute. You know, these are the things that we need all the time. Then... personal parachute. Jetpack. I don't think we need a jetpack. Thermometer. This thermometer is definitely not a store-bought model with some wires stuck to it. We're devoid if an engineer admits it's actually a store-bought model with some wires stuck to it. And this will give me... Okay, hold on a second then. What if we load... don't save. We load Chat's mom. I might want to delete the previous chat moms because there can be only one. Okay, chat's mom, load. Okay. Then, instead of the goo, we use thermometer. And I think do we really need two thermometers? I guess we might need two of them. Even though it's so tiny that I don't really think it would really mess up with the balance. Like, the mystery goo containment is 0.05 tons. No, okay, they weight literally the same. How could it possibly be? To say that I don't agree is an understatement. More measurement, more better. So I think we are actually going to replicate literally the same thing that we just did without changing anything else. Just instead of the goo, it's going to be thermometer. Like, I think it makes sense. Mercury is very heavy. Freddie Mercury was probably like 80 kilograms. Okay, let's start with log temperature. Temperature readings are quite literally nominal. We keep the experiment. And then we go up. The stages are all fine, yes. 0.005 ton is not going to unbalance your craft noticeably. See, then maybe I should have not done the tutorial. Because the tutorial wanted me to match them. Goo masses is 10 times as much. Then I can't read. I thought it was literally the same weight. Now, we go. We want to be prograding. The tutorial was correct. No, I think I made a mistake. But that's okay. Log temperature. Collect and record temperature data for the environment. No, I don't think I was wrong with opening the parachute in that moment. There is a set parachute. Tutorial teaches you to be careful about aerodynamic and weight balance. It's on you to find out how far you can push it. So it's like if Jebediah dies, he dies. That is not our problem. Why are you... What? Why? Retrograde. I love how, like, as soon as we started spinning, Jebediah was like, yay! I am going to vomit! Woohoo! Jeb knew the risks. Oh, yikes. Can I still move it? Because some mistakes were made there, but I think I can still fix it. Jeb is doing what I told him. Stay pointed at prograde. I mean, at a certain point, I have to retrograde. That's it. Parachute. Maybe Jeb is not going to die. Chat, is Jeb Bush actually called Jebediah? I never thought about it. But I don't think Jeb and just Jeb is a name. So it's probably Jebediah. We're going so fast. Goodbye, Jeb. Goodbye. Bye. No. We made it. Oh, his real name is John Ellis. Oh, Jeb. Okay. For a second I thought maybe he was Jebediah. Well, this was probably not the best landing, but it was indeed a landing. Can't really complain. Now, probably if that happens in real life, we would wreck the roof of the facility, but is that really a problem? There'll be the new roof ornament. We got a temperature scan. Recover of a vessel that survived a flight. Jebediah is once again ready. So let's go back in research and development. And we didn't make enough points. We did make enough points. We made enough points for survivability. Heat shield, barometer, radiator, micro landing strat, drogue chute. This drogue parachute is small, deploys high gap, and certainly not enough to stop you smashing into the ground on its own, but useful for slowing craft down before the deployment of your main chute. Okay. I just noticed that it says manufacturer found lying by the side of the road. That makes me feel extremely safe. Get the thing that gives you more science, the barometer in this case. A heat resistant service bay, ideal for protecting delicate instruments or stowing small service components. Well, we have to research these literally because I didn't have points to research anything else. And I think we are gonna continue small. Because why should I change everything if I can just do literally the same, but this time we go with the barometer? Right? It makes sense to me. Let's launch. Some of the most interesting people you will meet were found lying on the side of the road. Landing? Who cares about landing? I mean, landing is only useful if you care about Jebediah. If you don't care about Jebediah, then it's sort of whatever. Okay, we're gonna start by logging the pressure data here. Then we need to change this because this setting is just completely wrong. Okay, much better. Then we go up. Whee! Jeb is immortal. I mean, he might die, but even when he dies, another Jeb can come back. There are so many different Jebs. Now we can log the pressure data up here. I am assuming that the crew report might not really giving me anything new, because it says literally the same as last time. You can put Ghoul, Thermo and Barrow every time. You get new science from flying over different parts of Kerbin and landing in different spots. Yeah, but I feel like this is the safe approach. Like, this is how I know that I am not gonna die. And you know, I deeply care about Jebediah. More instrument is more better, but I am assuming that if I want more instruments, I might want a bigger rocket. How hot is it at my location? In my room right now, with the air conditioning running, it's 30 Celsius, 29.9. That's with the air conditioning. But I am feeling fine. Bye, Jeb. No. Jeb is fine. Jeb is doing just fine. Jeb is surviving just fine. It's 32.4 in your room, with or without air conditioning running. Because I do have it. I turn it off now, because honestly it was getting a little chilly. Good job, Jeb. What do you mean, Jeb? No, he's fine. He's just fine. You guys never trust me. I am proceeding with an extremely slow approach. How do I... There was a way to make Jeb get out, right? No? There was a way. I don't remember. Eva. Because I saw something. I saw something and I kinda want to go there. Even though it's a little far away. Like, you see that sort of thing? That pillar? That is a long run. Should I try and land there? There's a few kilometers away. And we don't want Jeb to run all the way there. I am already holding shift. This is already running. This will take longer than my patience. Okay, but for once Jeb is not stuck in the same place all the time. Turn on physic warp. And what is that? Like, I am kinda sad about Jeb. Like, look at him. I literally just... if I make him smack on the ground... Hold on. Can I... Nah, you don't have a way. I can't make him run towards me. Run. 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 Spang! And... Spang! I don't know what those keys are for. I literally just... I pressed them and nothing happened. I also pressed Alt and it looks like nothing happened. So I am not entirely sure what you guys are trying to make me do. I want to make it to the road at least. I have some funny key mapping. I mean, always remember the Italian keyboard is different from other keyboards. For example, every single time I am playing a game and I encounter a glitch and people tell me, well, click tilde and that is going to open the menu. Tilde is not a button on an Italian keyboard. And so every time I have to try and understand what would be the equivalent. You can click fast forward. And would that make me go faster? Oh, it does make me go faster. Is there anything on the road? No, these are just lights. Or at least I think they are lights. You have to press the Swinton button. We are still so far away. I need to reach the thing because it looks like a Moai. And I need to know if that is a Moai. And I know that you're thinking, well, Penny, but just land there. Land there. But I am not good enough at precisely landing there. Jeb is trying to handle these extreme G-forces, exactly. Like, look at him. He's really just happy about it. He's jumping for happiness. We're getting there. We're getting there, chat. Will I have to go all the way back? I think so. I think we don't have a way to be retrieved. Just how you get good enough is wanting to investigate such things. It could be a Moai. Why are you running? Look at him going. This is me on my way to meet your mom. Do they sell plushies of Jeb? He's smiling, by the way. I know that it's hard to see because it's so sped up, but he's smiling, so he's happy. Get in there! Get in there, chat! It's like 2001: A Space Odyssey. We are running towards a mysterious slab. Jeb reenacts Penny seeking cheese. I mean, thankfully cheese is never this far away from me. There's a pretty great perk of living in Italy. I don't really... Anywhere you go, cheese is always pretty close to you. Can we watch Jeb murder under Kerbal with a femur? We saw that there is a Kerbal called Valentina. She's Italian. The maniac grin. He is so happy. This is like the best day of his life. I've only seen him smiling harder right before exploding, but then we re-rolled the timeline, and so he didn't actually explode. It's like, you know when in Star Trek, every now and then, they create parallel timelines? So Jeb never died. He only died in another timeline. The closer I get, the more it looks like the slab from 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's squad. It's a military thing. Okay. So it literally was a black slab like the one in 2001. Remember the opening credits? No. After the info dump that the game gave me, you think I can't remember? Is there anything I can do about this? Can I interact with this in any way? No. We just look at it. Make a report. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here. Well, this honestly doesn't really sound like a particularly useful report, but hey. I didn't realize that I could remove the helmet, but it looks like a little Frankenstein. Take a surface sample. You take a sample of the soil. It's very muddy and sandy. There might be a body of water nearby. So it's completely ignoring the giant slab. We can also plant a flag. Site name. Jeb's obsidian slab. Plague test. I am Jeb. Period. The slab isn't the surface. But I don't think there is much I can do. Hold on, I saw something yellow. I keep seeing something yellow. I climb? Hold on. It only shows me climb in like very specific locations. Is it normal that it's very... like there is no music or anything? It doesn't look like it's actually letting me climb. I have a jetpack, but I don't know how to use it. Yeah, we started playing the game like a couple of hours ago. And of course, one of the first things that I have done was running all the way here because I saw there was something. Turn off physics warp. I have no idea of how did I even activate them. Was it a thing I activated with Alt? No, it doesn't look like we can. It won't let me. Jeb, don't die. You survive a launch just to die here? I'm moving at a normal speed, but it doesn't look like I can climb. So I guess we're gonna have to come back another time. Unless... I just have to... No. Jeb, no! Jeb, wake up! Do I have to keep pressing F? At set intervals. Slug high. We have a little plant badge now. I still don't know why some people have it and some people don't. Chat, you can totally tell me if what I am trying to do is not doable. Normally you have to climb. Lets you get back on a craft. What if this is an alien spaceship then? You don't think the monoliths do anything? Many Easter eggs that are just static objects, so you doubt. You know if it's doable, but it can be lethal for Jeb. Okay, but I feel like, you know, if he dies doing what he really loves, then it will be okay. Because I am sure that he really loved this. No, we already reported. Meh. Time to recover. We can't recover. We have to run all the way back. All the way. You can't recover if not. Oh, I can recover? I thought Jeb needed to be there. This is much better. Recovery of a vessel that survived the flight. Okay, but by recovering this way, the science that we have done at the monolith didn't actually count. I only recovered him. No, I only recovered the vessel. I can't recover the... Ah, okay, he is a vessel. And then I can recover this one, which has a lot more stuff. And the career report is assigned to this. Is Jeb still there? No, it's not. That is just a flag. Why would it let me recover a flag? We can't afford anything. Good to know. So I guess this time I will need to build something a little bit more meaningful than this thing that I have been... Like, either we keep flying these, but we move... Maybe we can keep flying these, which is easy, but we move away from here. Or I stop being a coward. I can also totally stop being a coward. So we want all of the stuff. We want a barometer. We want the mystery goo container. And we want the thermometer. Solid fuel booster, solid fuel booster. We might want, you know, the bigger version. Do we want the bigger version? We saw that with liquid fuel we can go like very, very high up. But if we want to go all the way up, then we will need to use the decoupler. But then I think with the decoupler we will lose anything that we don't recover. So I am not sure that it's really worth it. If you turn on angle snap, then the parts will snap. I thought they were already snapping. Are they not already snapping? This is gonna cover the window. I want Jeb to be able to look outside. So rude otherwise. You don't have a financial budget, so you only need to recover science, not engines. Ah, okay, so it's not a problem. Even if we die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't do math. I'm doing 5 because it's the same amount that we have done in the tutorial. So it should be easy enough for me. Where the hell is the coupling? So I think this is how it was. If you put a thermometer on the side and a barometer on the other, you know they were actually symmetrical. No, I don't get it. Like, I thought as long as you have 2 of them, they will always be symmetrical. Did I put the decoupling in the right spot? I think I did. Then we will need wings. And we need 4 of them. And we need to put them there. You just put 1 on each side instead of bringing so many things. Ah, in that way. And I guess we don't really need to do experiments on surface anymore. Even though they keep giving me points. How much do you weigh? Will I ever know what's the weight? 0.05. This is 0.005. So it's still not really, you know. This one is way heavier. So I think we still need 2 goos. Because they balance each other's. Every time I go to a new place, more experimental observation to do. I think we need 2 goo canisters. Because the weight is not coherent with the other 2. So even snapping, it will still not make any sense. But the other 2 items, they are the same weight. So we can just do this. Why did I put 2 of them? The girl put on in 2. The barometer and thermometer, you can have 1 each. Yeah. And they should be... They should be all in the right spot. What are you? A small landing leg designed for space probes or lightweight landers. So this is not something we need. Need a symmetry tool. There are 3 icons. Click all of them. These 1, 2, and 3. I honestly feel like this is more confusing than ever. I'm trying to see what happens if I move stuff around. But I am not entirely sure that I get it. This is right, so this is how it's supposed to look. Like, let's say that I put something completely random somewhere. I need it to be something that can attach. Let's say that I put a random goo here. It didn't really do much. I'm doing well. Okay, but I am trying to understand how to read this data. Because what I see are 2 balls and a cross. And I need to understand how to read it. Like, if I put something that is completely out of space, it's still not really changing much. It's still all the same. If they are roughly in the center, it will become very hard to control. Which means that even if I started adding more and more goo, it wouldn't be a problem. So the booster should show the effect more. Ah, okay. And of course this is not something we want. Now I get it. It's kinda ugly to see though. I think I'm just gonna enable and re-enable as we go. And mistakes were being made with the tanks. We now need to replace them again. There we go. It's Twin Peaks kind of music. I mean, sort of. This one is called Chats. Flying hamster. Basically a hamster. And I am sure that everything will be fine. Now, was the altitude 2000 for this guy? Just that because it's never coming back. You have a point. Staging is a bit of work. We also, I need to set the parachute. And I absolutely don't remember what was the... I think it was 2000 and 0.75. Now, I think we need 3 stages. Right? Where at stage number 1 we are launching. Well, at stage number 2, technically. Number 2 we are launching. Then we are decoupling. Then we start the parachute. Can always take some drogue chute on. They open at a higher speed. Yeah, but I still have no idea what kind of speed I need to do anything. Let's launch. What could possibly go wrong? Cat Pig, hello. This time we're gonna try and go somewhere else, by the way. Let's observe the goo in this spot. I think we can go. I don't know where we are going. Chat, there is a very good chance that our Jeb is going to die because I am not really aware of what am I doing. You're a much smaller green bar than for the goo. Because you already have that science. So I can actually reset this goo. And then we try another time. Chad, why is it telling me that the parachute is red? Because this is not the right moment. I think we're about to explode, aren't we? I think we're about to explode. I don't remember which button to press to slow down. Okay, I want to observe Mystery Goo here. I also want to observe the pressure data. And where the hell is the temperature? Hello, please. Log temperature. That's great. Then I would also like to... Where is Jebediah? I don't know what am I doing right now. Can we go to anti-normal? I want to go to anti-normal. I don't think we can go there. Crew report. It seems we are very much in space right now. The sky seems to be mostly below us. That's correct. If I now decouple, we're gonna go down. But it's cool that Jeb is in space. Like, isn't this great? Let's decouple. Are we even moving? I called Ava Jeb for another science report. But if I Ava Jeb right now, isn't he going to die?
Scusi, Babide Popi?
Cioè, se io fossi Jeb non è che vorrei proprio andare in giro per lo spazio, cioè... Non è un po' un problema? I will see my trajectory. I think my trajectory sucks. Can I move my trajectory somewhere else? Even if you don't get him inside quickly. I don't even know exactly where we are going right now. It's like, I think we're just standing there. Sorry, Jeb, sorry. Can we prograde? No. We can't. Are we just gonna stay here forever? We are going back down, just extremely slowly. Prograde will burn my goo. Will it? I have another mystery goo that I could observe, but I wanted to observe it I don't know when. Why did the music stop? Chat, why did the music stop? The goo seems to be getting very cold. Oh, because I am no longer in space. Well, but I would very much like to keep the music all the time. Should I deploy the parachute? Yeah, I wanted to flip over, but should I deploy the parachute? I think I should deploy the parachute. No, why no? It doesn't open automatically, it just deploys it. It will open when we reach the height that I told it to wait for. But I feel like it was like we were going down. We were getting pretty close to the surface. Hello? Are they shooting at me? Jebediah, are we entering in a zone of war? Oh, it was the rest of the rockets. I thought we were going to die. And now we just gotta wait. I can do science on the surface. Is it not going to... Like, if I log the temperature on the surface, is it going to overwrite the previous one? The altimeter shows your altitude above the sea level, not the ground. This one. It will overwrite. So I can't really do science. I can collect the science with Jeb on Eva. Oh yeah, that one I can. Which is why more instrument is more better. Yeah, but you guys told me that I only needed one for each. There's a thing you can get later to pull and store extra to allow repeatable experiment. I mean, I could have just covered the entire the surface of the crew hatch with thermometers. It's not like they wait a lot. I'm gonna make it go faster because honestly, I don't really think we are in any danger. It's just taking forever. Ta-da! We are alive! Alive and in the middle of nowhere. You please climb out? Hop! Good job, boy. Good job. EVA report. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here. This is literally the same report as before. I'm not really seeing anything around that would be particularly worth checking. It's from grassland biome. It seems to be, it's a new one. But it said literally the same thing as it said before. Take a surface sample, we can do this as well. We can also plant a flag. Sploink. We're gonna call this one Jeb's grass. Jeb was here. And I think that's all. It looks like dirt. I wanted to have his helmet back. Can we enter in the place again? I'm not entirely sure that we can get back. Bored, okay. Now go and visit the mountains. That will take a long time to walk. So I'm just gonna try and land there next time. We'll take new temperature and barometer reading, but it will need to take the data and then get back into the capsule. What do you mean? There is even a polar biome. Look at the amount of science that we have done. Congratulations, Jeb. What can we unlock? General rocketry. More liquid fuel. Engine. Solid fuel booster. Fuel tank. No new science, it seems. Aerodynamic nose cone. Better winglets. A radial decoupler. Winglet. It looks like not a single one of these is going to give me more ways to do science. Taking data resets the science instrument, but you still keep the data that way. Each building is its own biome. A small rover can get science from the space center. But first I will have to make a rover. It doesn't look like this is gonna make me do any more science. So let's research this anyway. Fuel engine, fuel. Jebediah eats danger for breakfast, that is very true. Crew cabin, strut connector, decoupler, structural fuselage, a flag, stability enhancer. Do I already have all of the instruments that I will possibly need? I guess I am just going to unlock everything. This is aviation, so this is just to make a very normal airplane? But I don't have enough points for... No, I do have enough points for this. No, I don't. It's 45 and I have 30. Probodobodine. Stay Putnik. A lightweight sphere equipped with remote receiver and relay control input from the ground to the craft. It carries no crew at all, thus keeping them perfectly safe from harm. This device does require electricity to operate and will cease to function if the power runs out. But I like Jeb. There are some 30 biomes only at the Space Center, where you can do science. Some roll around in the capsule for an hour. The first launch, but it's really cheesy. It sounds boring as well. A short-range dual-purpose communication antenna that can handle direct communication or short-range relay. So with this thing, we will be able to transmit information, which would allow me to probably, like, not have to worry about bringing all of the data back. Probably in a radio link with the ground station. Well, we don't have enough points to unlock anything anyway. I am curious about the space plane. Stay putting doesn't have SAS, so it's a bad idea. I absolutely don't want to use it then. So is this the place where I can build something that stays on the ground? Do you stay on the ground? A nose cone? And in which way are you ever going to help me? Aerodynamic, lightweight, and mostly non-explosive. As a rental personnel operating nearby, this part is really sharp and will probably hurt if you fell on it. Save you from having to mount a significantly more complex rescue mission. Like, you are supposed to rescue people? You don't really have their over parts, unless you want to abuse the power of reaction wheels. Then I guess we are not gonna do this. There are rescue missions. I thought it was okay if people died. This is the tracking station facility. In here you can view all of the solar system, as well as the current position and trajectories of all ongoing missions. When you have missions in progress, you will see them listed on the panel at your left. You'll be able to take command of them from this screen. Sometimes contract may require specific destination in orbit or the surface. Those will also be visible here. But can I create my own objective? No, isn't it? Well, other than the flags that I have put down, what if I remove literally everything but these? Oh, one of them is the moon. I don't really think I am in the condition of reaching the moon. I don't really think so. Oh, okay. So all of these unknown, they are only in space. They are not on the planet. I don't really think we can reach the moon. Nor that unknown object. I mean, maybe these unknown objects are reachable? Maybe? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know the game enough. I'm pretty close to the moon already. But I'm assuming that I don't have enough stuff. Let's take Chad's flying hamster. Can I improve it? I mean, I guess we can always improve it by adding more and more and more and more fuel, so that we can go more and more and more and more far away. What is the difference between these two? I don't know what is the difference. All things are reachable if you use enough rockets of the right kind. Like, I'm trying to compare. Liquid fuel. Okay, this one takes less fuel, I think. One can steer a little bit better. And where does it say which one? Let's say I want to make a new one. This is the only pod that we have. And then we have a parachute. A parachute comparable to the MK16 chute, but which is played radially instead of attached on the top of something. So this one slows things down. Way too bad high. ISP is basically your miles per gallon. Some engines are terrible in atmosphere but good in vacuum. I don't even know where am I trying to go at the moment. I'll be very honest. Why is this decoupler better than the other? Because it has a lot more ejection force. And why is it better to have more ejection force? Because it goes on the side. One is radial rather than a stuck decoupler. Okay, but like, why does it matter? Why is it important that it doesn't go down, but it goes to the side? Strap your solid fuel booster on with that and watch them spin away. It just makes the tube shorter. It doesn't sound that important then. I am assuming that this basic fin is better than this other one. Maybe. Simply because this one was found lying on the side of the road, and this one is made by Jebediah. Unless Jebediah is an idiot. It's possible that Jebediah is an idiot. Think about rocket launches when they throw the booster stuff. Yeah, but I still have no idea of what is the real difference, like the practical difference between something falls or something get ejected from the sides. Like, why would I prefer one instead of the other, basically? I don't think we need a new one. I think we just need this one and not burning all of the fuel immediately. More ejection force can be good to push up stages away from your rocket and not collide with it and blow up. So you were saying that I have been lucky so far that it didn't happen. Olveg high. Are these other fins better? I would say they are better, but they are also heavier. So Jebediah is an idiot. That's what you are telling me? But we should be able to afford them. Oh, they are massive! We probably only need 2 of them, not 4. Famous last words. Vertical rockets can be quite hard to launch without them flipping out, so you might want side attach booster. It's for personal preference, okay. 3 laps around the assembly building. And when you are done, I will still be here trying to understand what to do. You can mount boosters without the coupler, but they are ballast after running out of juice before the main engine. Chat, you know that half of the times I have no idea what are you talking about. Like, I think you know. Think about holding a 2-liter Coke bottle on the palm of your hand, and then think about a 2 kilos broomstick. The broomstick seems more precarious. Yes. Now I get it. Now I get it. Afronaut, it's like you were speaking Russian to me. I don't know what am I trying to do, by the way. I really have no idea. Yes, that's how I'm feeling. I agree, Wrongtown. I agree. Do I need a heat shield? Add more fuel tanks and go higher. I guess that would be new science if I do. What if I just use this instead? Like, what is the difference between solid and liquid? The one you have will be fine. So it is a firework, can't control. So we probably don't want we don't want this. So it can be adjusted after ignition. It will burn fully. Chat, curiosity is killing the cat. There is one use. It's on for the rest of its life. You want those for the first stage of ascent and then you use liquid fuel. So, hold on. Fire the solid fuel, then the couple, and then gauge liquid fuel. But this is not making sense though, because it means that I can't use the liquid fuel engine. Unless I can... Can I do this? We place this one. Ah, we can do this! It was so confusing. Okay, maybe we need 4, or at least 3. We probably want 3 of these. Yeah, no, I know about the decoupling, I know. I was thinking about the wings now. So we want 2 decouplers. One there. And the other one here. And a heat shield. I still don't know what a heat shield is for. I still really have no idea. I have 3 now, but I have never used them. Like, not even a single time so far. You only need 1 decoupler between the capsule and the liquid stage. You already had 1 there. Oh, I already had 1 there, you were right. Chat, I am changing my mind. We want a new one. Don't save this. I don't wanna mess with that one. So we start, as usual, we start with the pod. Then we need the parachute. Why do I have 2 pods? Then... What the hell is a payload? A heat resistant service bay, ideal for protecting delicate instrument. I don't think I need this one. But apparently I need a heat shield here. Even though so far I haven't used it. It will burn up trying to land without a heat shield. Is it normal that so far I never needed one? And now suddenly I do? You have a heat shield on the capsule. Okay, so far we didn't need them, but now we are trying to go way higher than before. And so it's probably for the best. Then we said liquid. This one is 45, this one is 90. No, I am forgetting something in between. We need the decoupler. Decoupler. Then 1 and 2 and 3. Then decoupler. If you approach straight down into the planet, then you will need extra heat shield. So simply the reason why I didn't need them so far, it's only because I haven't really gone very far. Engine. There will be the liquid engine. They sort of look the same to me. They don't really seem much different one from another. Then solid. Yes. And then we will need aerodynamics. I am assuming that 3 would be enough. T45 all day? I have no idea. Which one of them is T45? This one is T45. Gonna be in your top 5 games ever quiet. I am so extremely confused. Entertained, but also confused. But I absolutely don't have a single clue of anything physics related. Give me a second. I am curious. Chat, it's funny. There is some Russian who is trying to write in his language that I just translated, who is calling me an idiot whore. I just want you all to know. Because, you know, Automod is not posting it, but I want you all to know. Science mode is great. I was feeling extremally overwhelmed by the tutorial. Because the tutorial is just so much info dump. It's like wall of text after wall of text, and then you don't really have enough time to really assimilate an information. It's giving you another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and it's just, you know, it's way too much. It's so much. While I feel like since I started experimenting with this one, with this mode, with the science mode, I feel like I am learning a lot more. Yes, sure, Jebediah exploded a couple of times, but that's okay. It's fine. I don't think it's a problem. I think we can survive. The most important part of this game is exploding. Do you really learn if Jebediah never explodes? Like, the tutorial was teaching you how to do things right, but if you never do things wrong, are you really learning? Now, for example, I don't know if this amount of wings are enough. I have no idea. I really don't know. And I feel like there is only one way to know. One way. You think I am onto something? I think Jebediah might not be happy about what am I on. Now, we are here to do science. So we need science stuff. And we will need them all the way to the top. Mystery goo? And we want at least 2 of them. I might honestly want 2 for each one of them. Barometer. Okay, I think this is sort of working. Turn on the air overlay. You want the blue ball towards the bottom. That is basically what the wings do a rocket. Well, it's not really at the bottom, but it's towards the bottom. What happens if I move them up? The ball goes higher. So the lower you put your wings, and the lower the blue ball goes. Now the blue ball is in the same place as the purple thing. It sounds positive to me. Like, I don't know for sure, but it sounds positive. Like, it's almost like the cross of that purple thing is meant to hug that ball. If the aerodynamic center is too high, your rocket will flip like crazy. Yeah, it's like the broomstick and the Coca-Cola bottle. But I feel like it's... Blue is still in front of yellow just outside. Oh! I thought it was the ball inside of the purple thing. Then I think this is far from ideal. I don't think this is what we want. Is it because we don't have enough of them? Maybe we need more. Maybe 3 was not enough. Maybe we want 4. With 4 of them, we are still bringing it down. Even better. Even better. And you know, in this science mode, we don't really have to worry about spending money. So I think this should be fine. We're spending money. Above the center of trust is fine. So the purple thing is the center of trust. Is it look at dots in detail? Keep it simple. Wrong Town hit me with a great example, which was, imagine you are juggling a 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola on the palm of your hand. And you know, it's sort of stable. You have to balance it, but it's sort of stable. And now imagine it's a broomstick. And you know, like, that example made me understand aerodynamics way better than anything else. So right now it's a Coca-Cola bottle, it's not a broomstick. And now my broomstick has sort of a base, which is going to make it even better. Right? Do we need something more? I don't think we need anything more. No, there are some things that we need. We need to set the parachute. And I think something like this should do. Because so far, something like this always did. But this time we're gonna go way higher. I mean, I could add this side parachute that can help. Fred was thinking of an arrow in flight. Heavy arrow tip stays going forward. Big light feathers want to slow down. There is greater pressure of the air as you gain speed. If that's above the center of mass, it's going to try to rotate the broomstick sideways. Everyone experiences the rocket that barely makes it off the ground, abandoning Jeb in space, rescuing Jeb from the moon. Like, I developed sort of an attachment to Jeb. I don't know what does it say about me, but I really kinda like Jeb. And I don't really want Jeb to just die. The other parachutes are good for slowing you down, but not stopping. The blue ones are good for stopping you, but not slowing you down. I want to slow down. Orange slowing down. Okay, so I have used the right one. Because then we have a proper parachute. And I am just afraid that we might re-enter a bit too fast. But I think this should work. Now, about the stages. Stage number 4, I need to unzoom. Stage number 4, we go. Stage number 3, we get rid of our solid fuel.
Mamma mia!
Stage number 2, Demon, thank you for the resub. The one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism, space. I wouldn't be so sure about that. If any, I feel like that was always the ultimate goal of space exploration. The atmosphere will slow you. The lower you open the chute, the slower it will go. Jeb already exploded once because we re-entered way too fast and the atmosphere was not enough to slow me down and we splattered on the ground. Not for much longer. I feel like the ultimate goal of space exploration was always to understand what can we really do with all of those rocks to become even richer. What are you? Oh, okay. So, at a certain point, we will need to start the engine again. Aim for 10 km up and pray. I usually aim at 2000 of altitude, which is a little slow, but so far it's been kinda safe. Then eventually with the couple again, and then parachute. I think this works. And there's only one way to know if it really works. We're gonna launch. What could possibly go wrong? The solid booster that I'm starting with is gonna go vroom. My intention is to go way farther up than I have ever gone so far. Jeb, are you ready? Do you guys think Jeb is ready? And 3, and 2, and 1. Solid booster is very good for the start. I just wanna go very far away. Farther than ever. Solid fuel still going. Still going. Still going. And so this one doesn't really have prograde, retrograde, and all of that, right? We don't have a way to control it. I might want to throttle. I thought I couldn't throttle. I thought I couldn't throttle with solid fuel. This one can go. Now we keep going. How far are we making it? I don't know if I want to keep going straight or sort of, you know, try and move to a side. Can I pause? I can pause, but I can't do what I want to do. Orbit info will show you that thing. That thing. Is the planet 100% Earth-like? Not at all. Not at all. Maneuver mode, not what I orbit, yes. I still have no idea of... Okay, this is AP. Do I want to try and reach AP? Is that what I want? Is that what I want to try? I don't even know how to exit this. Normal, anti-normal, radial, retrograde, I have no clue. What I do know is that we are way farther than we ever were. AP is a marker for my max height. It's not a place where we can go. You're going to reach your Apopsis, cause you have no fuel. Which means I can drop this, right? You can go, but if you meet it, it means that you are falling. So far we are still going up. Tell me something, Goo. The goo seems to have clumped into a sphere, and it appears to have become brittle. Good to know. What about the temperature? It gave me 8 points in science. What about... No, this is the crew hatch. What about the pressure data? The instrument reads 0. It's as if we were in a vacuum. Ooh. Who would have possibly thought about it? A quick Ava now would be good. Am I going to kill the poor Jebediah? Maybe yes, maybe no. How do I make it back? Eva report? Yes. And then we board. And he's still alive! Let's go! Okay, this is a problem. Because now we are going down. But now I can go retrograde. Right? No, it's the other way around. It's prograde. Do I have a way still to sort of influence where am I going to fall? Jeb leaves! Let's go, Jeb! Thank you, Bromtown. These are the things worth celebrating. It's a free fall, so since I ran out of fuel, there's nothing I can do. Aim for Florida and pray! This is the display off, toggle display, 325 Kelvin. Is this going to give me a different... Measuring the temperature of space appears to be quite impossible, as there is no matter around to be either hot or cold, except the spacecraft and the thermometer itself. This is probably going to give R&D guys something to think about for a while. So this was something new. The goo feels right at home. So we have new information. That's cool. You can aim with array on the way back down, but it's not easy nor effective. We are still going up so far. This is making me feel so extremely small. Over the jetpack for the extra adrenaline. I don't even know how to use the jetpack. I have no idea. .308 .309 Maybe if I used my fuel better. Man, this is how far we made it. And I am supposed to go there? What the hell? Yeah, we made Jeb go outside. He had a little bit of a spacewalk. This is what makes it fun and challenging. Like, we are gonna need such a bigger rocket if we wanna make it to the moon. Jeb, how is everything? This is the internal view. Sadly, we can't really look at Jeb. How can I look outside again now? I have no idea. I guess we're gonna be stuck in this position forever. See, thank you. This is what I get for not completing the tutorial. Now we are going down. Very slowly, but we are going down. I guess we wanna go down retrograde. Yeah, we are going down. V is camera and C is cockpit. So this is free camera. Whee! That was the best day of Jebediah's life. Like, don't you see? He's laughing. He's happy. You want to go down heat shield first? Yes, but right now we are horizontal. We are not even vertical. So I guess right now it doesn't really matter too much. On the way up, prograde, put your heat shield towards the ground. But on the way down, you will have it flipped. Yeah, but right now we're like, it's just horizontal. Jeb feels like he became a being of pure energy. I can make it happen again. Whee! See? He's happy. There is a kraken to anger with physics. Like a space kraken. I fear no kraken. I fear Karen, but not kraken. The space kraken. I feel like the only problem is that we might want to go way faster. Too fast. Now we're going too fast. I am wrong for that. The kraken is worse than Karen? Space Kraken is the explanation of the physics fucking up. Still better than Karen. Somebody was forgetting about... These are the two that are going to make me slow down. It's not the one that is going to actually stop me. Gear that plays in a certain orientation overheats and explodes. Kraken. I was really hoping that we would end up in a different biome, and maybe we will, because it looks like we are around mountains. Something just fell down really fast. I can cut the other chutes, can I? Like by clicking at them? Oh, I can cut them! Yeah, that was the rest of my ship. What happens if I cut them now? Just out of curiosity. What is the worst that can happen? Technically, it's supposed to make me go faster without the other parachutes. Important to cut the important one. It's okay. If Jeb dies, he dies. Kira, hi. This is gonna take a minute. Is this due to my settings? Is this due to the parachute settings that I chose? Are they too much safe? I tried to toggle the lights and nothing happened. Nope. For the parachute, I am too safe on the settings. I guess I really care about Jebediah too much. He once made a device called a load cell that was meant to measure the pressure that the cord of the parachute loads. That sounds useful. Look at the other side. The other side. This side? No, not this side. I don't know which side. Why are we not moving? Chat, why are we not moving? Oh, we landed! I thought it was glitched because I saw that we weren't at 0. And I didn't realize that it's because we were on a mountain. The problem now is that I already used Jebediah's EVA in space, so I'm assuming that I can't use it here. Isn't it? And probably the information about space is more important. I can store experiments. Where do I store the experiments? In the inventory? No. When you leave and enter the pod, he deposits science. So I can do it again. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary. This is the same thing that he says all the time. We can plant another flag. And the flag is going to say Jeb's Mountains. Jeb was on a mountain. Take surface. Here the surface is mostly barren, snow, dirt and rocks. You are very confident that if you look under the snow, you will find more dirt and rocks. You are so smart, brother. You are so smart. How can he be so smart? Yeah, this is Jeb's mountain. Spaghetti High. Now, can we make it back? We can... hello, I am trying to board back. Can we please board? What is the entrance? Oh, store experiments. There they are. But I don't really think there are more experiments that I am supposed to do. Oh, board, finally. And I would say we can recover the vessel. Look at this amount of science. What is that gave me the biggest amount? The mystery goo in space gave me the biggest amount of science. Yeah, 107 science. Jeb, you did a great job. Or a great Jeb. Astral Storm, hello. He really did a great job. I need to pee, chat. Before we start another mission, I would say that this is a great moment. Be right back.